Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ludi tonight. We have a triple header coming your way on this fine Sunday evening. The last few Ludi sets of this week are wrapping up. Today we have We Love Katamari versus Aim Drills to kick you guys off. I am going to toss this over to J King and Vortex for these teams. Both of you take it away.
Hey guys, how's it going? I am J King, or J King the VA, and I'm joined by Vortex tonight. How you doing today?
Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Vortex. You can find me on Twitter and Discord anywhere. How you doing tonight?
I am insanely excited, especially for the match we got coming up, because we actually got a decent amount of information from the team We Love Katamari, and I think before we get into the match, let's go ahead and get into that real quick. So, from what I can see, We Love Katamari is a team that is fairly new, which started about a month ago, with the players, two players, one of them maining Dynamo currently, and then Sun currently maining Dynamo, with the current founding member also being like a Zap player along with the V-Shot player. And they've had a lot of success as well, with one of their members being first at Midway along with SAC All-Stars, and being seeded previously in Div 5 in 2019. So there's a lot of history behind this team right now.
Yeah. I love the name reference. That game is really fun. I haven't played personally, but I've watched a couple YouTube videos on it. But yeah, Aim Drill's the next thing we got coming up. I've heard of them, and Rhea. Shout out to Rhea, my coach or semi-coach. But yeah, Aim Drill's one of my teammates also tried out for them. They're a really solid Div 5 team, or Div 4 team.
Not a problem. I think with this whole Ludi season, we're all just trying to remember like divs at this point, because like how many people were there? Like over 600 teams this time around for the season.
600 teams. Oh my lord, I could not imagine seeding that many teams.
Yeah.
Do I have a max of 16?
Absolutely. Like having that many teams to seed, like we absolutely have to give it up for the people who did all that. So I'm definitely very curious to see what we're going to see coming in from this match. But as we go ahead and say that, we're going to go ahead and get into the map list. So our first game is going to be Splat Zones Brine Water. What is your thoughts about this map?
Brine Water Splat Zones is definitely one of my... It's a mid-map mode for me, but the only reason why that is because strikes are very strong on this map. You throw three strikes on zone and you time it well, they can't flip. They can't do anything about it. It just flips zone immediately. Like, nothing will get past that. So it's a very special cheese map. I could see really anybody running a T-Tech here, any other strike weapon. The V-Slosh is very strong. Anything like that. Zookas are also a really good option on this map just because of how many ledges there are. What are you thinking about it?
I definitely agree with like bringing in something like a strike, like a T-Tech. Personally, that's what I tend to run with this map, or running a Zuka, because the thing about Zuka is that the way that Brine Water is laid out, Zuka covers like almost the entirety of the map, especially if you're kind of going essentially out of spawn, going to snipe. If you can get over there in like a very well-timed like manner, and like you have one of your specials ready, you can basically counter a charger before they even see you react to it, and they can just immediately get you out of there with a Zuka shot. So if we see teams bring out Zuka here, it's definitely going to be pretty tough to fight.
Very true. We already see one from each side. Also, a Crab Tank coming out on the side of Aim Drills. This is a very interesting pick. I thought Crab Bandit was dead. Apparently not to them. Oh, and a very good opening pick already coming through. The two opening picks, a 2v2 on zone. And it looks like Aim Drill's going to be taking zone right off the bat.
Definitely. The thing about Splat Zone's Brine Water especially is that this map is insanely lockout heavy, because once you really find that initial opening, you can absolutely snowball your way into like where your enemies would spawn. So that can basically just lock them out and like prevent them from really getting in and trying to counter push, unless they go from like drop or something. But as we can see here, We Love Katamari is already making a bit of a comeback here, already just trying to push Aim Trails back. We do see the Junior does have a bubble ready, same with a Crab and a Zuka. All of it's going to be popped along with Katamari being able to pop their Zuka as well, but the Zuka's actually going to get taken out, so this could be the lead, swapping back over to Aim Drills, but no, Katamari's able to keep the zone.
They do keep zone here, and the Dynamo's trying their best just to stall them as long as possible from getting onto their plat. Because they can get on the plat and get that lockout going, this could be huge for them.
Yeah, bringing in a Dynamo here especially, like, Dynamo is insanely strong, I feel, in this map. We do see the Zuka is able to get a very good pick there. 3 going down with the Zuka currently respawning. We do see the machine on Osa just currently hunting down the last remaining member of Aim Drills, but they are going to be able to get back and save that crowd. We do see the Junior going down from, I believe that was a Fizzy Bomb, so very well played there.
Another pick from the up on the crab tank comes out to try and push them out of their ramp. This could be huge getting back into zone. But if this crab tank doesn't go up, doesn't get them out of plat correctly, but it seems like it will.
Yeah, the crab tank was able to push him out of plat, but at the same time, they weren't really able to get themselves into a good position because the machine was able to just kind of sit there and lock him out and really shred that crab tank. But we do see the Dualies is currently on flank right now. They are able to find the pick on the machine. The Dynamo is currently watching them. They are going to unfortunately get picked off there. It's going to be a 1v2 situation right now with the Dynamo currently still up. So the Dynamo could have a pretty good hold here, but they did use their chumps, so they're going to unfortunately get taken out right there.
True. Dynamo is going down. The Tri-Slasher is down too. This could be huge because if they can't get that consistent cooler output from the side of Angels, they're not coming back fast enough to fight zone. And a very, very fast cooler meta as well.
Yeah, I feel like with the way that Katamari is playing here, they are playing insanely aggressive, even more than Angels was right at the start. Like Angels, yes, they were going for some pretty crucial picks there, but at the same time, Katamari was just really pushing in as much as they could to really lock him out, and especially trying to keep that man advantage.
Very, very true. And that man advantage is going to be very important in cooler meta because as long as you have a cooler up, you're coming back as soon as you can. So man advantage is going to be important if you want to keep zone in this situation. And a very nice pick, two very nice picks coming from the side of Angels.
This right here definitely could be a really, really big turning point. We do see the lead going to be swapping back over to Angels. We do see the Junior trying to pop the specials. They're all trying to move in. The Booyah's not really able to find much value. I believe we see the Zuka coming out. It's not really able to find much. It's a 2v2 situation. The Zap and the Machine have to try and get in. Are they going to be able to take the zone? No.
No, in the first game goes to Angels. Very, very solid performance on both teams. It's going to be a very close set if I had to predict it. Angels is going to be taking the first game though. And it was really close. They had a pretty good, decent lead on zone, and they were able to hold that.
Yeah, like, as I said before, this map is insanely lockout/snowball heavy, so as we saw there, even though Katamari was doing very good at keeping up the aggression, Angels, just like their name implies, they had solid aim there. They were able to really find those picks and really get them moving out, but we do see a bit of a replay at the end here. We do see, I believe this is the Tri-Slosher just really trying to hold down this little drop-down area. We do see the Fizzy Bomb coming out, and I believe we do see a lot of the specials already coming out from Katamari. So, at that point...
It was a major turning point.
Yeah, as you can see there, the Booyah, I believe it got accidentally stuck on the pole right there, right on drop. So, with that going in, it wasn't really able to find that much value from the trying to get to the point there. So... It didn't really find much for them.
Oh, great pressure from Dualies there. Locked them. They weren't able to get back into zone. Very soft performance from Angels with the comeback. Able to take lead, but our next map is going to be Inkblot Tower. What do you think about Inkblot Tower?
Inkblot Tower. Inkblot is one of my favorite maps currently in the game. Like, it's been one of my favorites ever since Splatoon 2. And, I feel like it's kind of same going for Brinewater, is that there's a lot of specials that can cover quite a lot of areas, just as we said before, like Zuko's, Tri-Strikes and everything. Tri-Strike especially here, because the tower goes into a lot of choke points, especially going to that first checkpoint. Like, if you're able to use a strike to really push them out, you're able to basically stop them from getting to that checkpoint even further, because once they get past that checkpoint, they can just keep snowballing it, especially if they're able to take control of bats and prevent them from really dropping down from spawn.
True. That VATS control is very important. That's what my team focuses on every single time you play Inkblot Tower, because once you get, like you said, past that first checkpoint, once you flood into VATS, there's just not a whole lot the other team can do if they have control of it for the whole time.
That's
we see any comp changes though.
I'm wondering, I believe we might see something similar coming out from We Love Katamari. We do see the Dynamo coming out once again. We do actually see a Squeezer coming out on the side of Angels. What's your thoughts on Squeezer right now?
Especially with Zuko. Squeezers are honestly in a better position than Hero Shot. It's just a little bit of a harder weapon to play, so it's not ran as much, but I do love seeing a really good Squeezer player. And we're going to see that perspective right in the opening.
I think
really
the thing
nice
about Squeezer, I think the thing about Squeezer that really sets it apart from something like a V-Shot is that you can kind of play it a little similar to, like, not fully similar, but kind of similar to, like, say, a Gal or something, especially with that wall. You're able to really get yourself into a lot of positions that allow you to really set up the wall and protect yourself, but also being able to give you a lot of angles, because even if you're not able to find a pick there, you're able to hold that angle and really prevent them from trying to challenge you.
True. Because Zuka coming out from the side of Katamari, not able to get a whole lot of value off this. They do get picked off, unfortunately, but now we're going to see the Zuka from the side of Angels. Will they get anything more done? I'm
curious if we'll see anything happen here. We do see that We Love Katamari does have a tactical alert. It is going to be coming up now with the Booyah currently coming out from the machine. So at this point, they could find a huge pick. They do get 2 huge picks right there. We do see the machine currently pushing over onto left stack. The bubble is currently up from the junior. They do have a very huge lead. They're going to try and push heavily onto bats here, but I'm very curious to see how they're exactly going to lock out, because especially with them popping a Zuka right here.
This VATS control is what we were talking about earlier. This is going to be very important for Katamari. If they can take this VATS control, this is a really good chance of game 2 to being theirs. And they are going to find a pick. The Angels is already 2 down. Able to make it an even 2v2.
I feel like the thing about here is that especially Dynamo, I believe that was able to get 2 picks there, so very well played from them. Using those chumps to really try and stall out everything. Especially being able to like refill your ink tank. Like that's something that a lot of people I feel like is the good thing for Dynamo, especially having specials that easily allow them to refill ink tank and like cover more ground, because you know Dynamo was really good at painting in a lot of the earlier games. So like seeing them use that to their advantage.
True, that ink tank is definitely one of the harder parts about Dynamo. The uptime is just honestly why it keeps it out of the meta for the most part, but that special refill for the ink tank, it's a great mechanic for Dynamo to have with the Super Chumps. But we're going to see a pushback from the side of Angels here. If they get control of the VATS, like we said earlier, again, this could be huge for getting the lockout. But Hero Shot getting 2 really nice picks here, but unfortunately gets traded out.
Yeah, we did see 2 go down pretty early on from Angels, and we do see the Squeezer currently trying to get back, but the Shot is able to find a very good pick and follow up with that. They are going to be able to try and take control of bats, but the Tri-Saucer is just going to deny them from really taking that position, which loses them the Zuka, and I don't believe they actually had a tactical alert. Because as I say that, they are going to pop the tactical alert now, which is going to give them a huge advantage here. We do see the Booyah coming out from We Love Katamari. This could be a huge push if they can really get it going.
True. They're going to have to find a way to break up past that plat from the bottom side of mid on the left stack area, because if they can get past that second check and they have control of VATS, as we've been saying several times, that's just honestly GG's unless you can get some sort of special to get them out.
Absolutely. Like, bats is such a strong position, especially if you're playing an aggressive weapon like something like a Squeezer or a V-Shot. If you're able to really set yourself up in those positions, especially if you have a Zuka ready, you can basically stop anybody from coming out from spawn over onto right side, and it just basically eliminates them from even trying to counter you. But as we see here, the tactical is providing a lot of value at the moment, just trying to make sure that everybody is kept alive over on Katamari. Katamari is very close to getting this checkpoint. If they can get that there, that's going to be a huge momentum shift.
So very true. That cooler from both sides already coming out. The junior also has a bubble. If they can get this bubble aggressively positioned, they could get this check and they could get past and get a better lead. And it's shredding the Booyah already. This could be very huge for the side of Angels. I
believe that the Zuka might have been popped a little too early there. It did come out, which did leave the Shot a little bit vulnerable, and they are going to be taken out there. But the bubble is providing a lot of value for the junior on the tower. But we do see 3 go down. The Squeezer does currently have the Zuka. Are they going to be able to hold it? No, they're not going to be able to hold it. They do get taken out. It is going to be a wipeout on the side of Angels. We Love Katamari. This is the momentum shift that they need here.
This is very true. If they again get past that second check, that's all they need to extend their lead. And that's going to be a huge check to get past. Will Angels be able to defend it?
I'm not sure, but we do see Paulo currently holding wall with the Saucer, but he was not able to find a pick there. Very unfortunate from them, but we do see one pushing in pretty heavy into mid. It is Luna over on the V-Shot. They're trying to really push back the Dynamo over on left stack currently, so I'm very curious to see what's going to happen here.
Final 10 seconds of the match is going to be make or break for the side of Angels. The one already on the tower, but they get picked off, and that's trade. That should be game.
Yes, that is going to be game. We did see the machine really contesting that wall, especially over on left ramp. Like, they were doing such a good job at really pressuring the tower, making sure that they're not able to push into a lot of advantageous positions. So very well played, and is going to be 1-1 currently for We Love Katamari.
Yep, and this is going to be going into game 3. Do we get a fist bump? Oh no, a fist bump, unfortunate. We love the fist bump edition.
I was really hoping we got a fist bump. Like, off topic, but I love that you can get fist bumps in this game now. Like, especially if your team has been down pretty heavily on mental. Like, it's such a good way to hype each other up and be like, hey, we did good that game. Be happy.
Very true. The fist bump. Oh my god. Definitely, yeah. One of my favorite additions as well. It's just this little small thing, just a small fist bump, and your mental is already skyrocketing through the roof. Because I know my team is always waiting after every match, say, hey, who's gonna fist bump? Who's gonna fist bump? You get 3 goals. You get 3 goals. No, you did. And then we fist bump. It's just the greatest feeling of all time.
Definitely, it is such a good feeling. But going back to the replay real quick, we did see the machine was able to hold the tower very well. It was able to get a pick, and we did see Angels currently trying to flood onto the tower, but unfortunately 3 did go down, and they were not able to hold it at that point, which did leave Katamari to get the lead there. So I wonder if we'll see something like that change up, especially going into our next map, which is a very, very interesting one. It is Rainmaker Humpback.
Honestly, Humpback Rain is one of my top modes. I love playing this as a Wiper because, you know, Wiper Deco has missiles. But the Toxic Mist meta, honestly, something I wasn't expecting to form on this map. But it kind of makes sense because once you get Mist down, on Rain especially, you can't really get past. You just have to wait or you die just getting distance. And so this is where you see like awkward weapons come out like C-Jet. You can get the V-Try with the Ink Jet and then the Toxic Mist. Do you expect to see any comp changes on either side to fit that meta?
I am not fully sure, honestly. I feel like with the way that they're playing, they're not necessarily... I feel like we might not see a C-Jet, but I feel like we might see a bit of a change-up and we might see like a V-Try. But I'm not fully sure. We do know that Toxic Mist is insanely strong in a map like this, especially on Humpback. Because in order to push a Rainmaker, you can either take it left, which is a little bit more risky, or you can take it right, which, yes, is risky, but there's a lot of straight paths, so like it's an easy way to stop it.
True. And honestly, this is one of the maps where you only really see people go to that rightmost check because, or at least on the side of Katamari, they're right, because it's just getting that left check is just extremely hard. It's the weirdest route in the game for a checkpoint. I wouldn't even be complaining if it wasn't there. But we already see a really strong opening, just playing neutral for both teams. Not many picks coming out yet. Zap farming for Cooler. Machine already has Booyah. This could be huge to take out that bubble and get that junior disposition.
Yeah, they really have to try and get that bubble out of there. The Junior was in a very good spot, but as we see right now, it's still fairly even, 3v3 on both sides, but we do see the Zuka coming out. I believe they also do have tactical debuff, so that is going to provide a bit of advantage. The Zuka is able to find a very good pick, I believe, onto the Dynamo on the side of We Love Katamari, and Katamari is starting to scramble a little bit. They're in a bit of a bad position, but we do see Osa find a very good pick onto the Slosher there. 2 go down, 3 go down on the side of Aim Drills, so this could be the advantage that Katamari needs to try and get that first check.
Very true. That was a great performance from Dynamo. Shutting down as much as area as they could, and they already take lead. This could be the first check on the side of Katamari, but no, they get the pick on the Rain. Very unfortunate, but good for Aim Drills. Yeah,
very good for Aim Drills there, but with the way that they were playing, it was a bit of a weird position for Katamari because they really had to watch that flank, because especially you never know when somebody's going to be responding pretty quickly onto this map because it's such a straight shot over to checkpoint, so it's able to really stall it out. But we do see the Dynamo really holding down mid at the moment, just trying to provide jumps for their team. We do see the Zuka coming out as well. Unfortunately, the Zuka does get picked, so this could be a bit of a weird neutral state for both teams.
Very true, and this neutral on this map is exactly what you want to have control of because it's not that far to get to that first check, and once you have mid, you can kind of just straight line towards check to get it. And already Hero Shot getting a really nice pick on the jump, and they're 2 down, 3 down. This Zuka could be huge if they can get off of the side of Aim Drills just to stall them just for a little bit, but Hero Shot's going to come out first, and they're already probably going to get this check.
I know it cut away to it, but as soon as the shot had the Zuka, one was trying to go through rail, or I believe something similar to that, and the Zuka was able to just get them out of there. We do see the bomb, I believe, getting thrown into the Rainmaker, is able to find a pick, so very well played from the Zap there. They are able to get the check. Katamari was able to get checkpoints, so that's very crucial for them.
Very true. The bomb cheese on this map is insane because those little tiny corridor on that first check, it's so easy to throw a bomb in the rain shield to get any picks from it. It happens a lot with my team, at least. We have a lot of suction bombs in our comp.
Yeah, suction bomb, especially on a map like this, is so strong because you can just place it on so many walls, like right here, like over on right side, you can place it right behind where somebody might push out onto check, and as soon as they peek it, they're gonna get taken out, so
it's gonna be playing to their advantage.
Yeah, very good shark there from Tri-Slosher. It was able to stop it, but Aim Drills is just not able to really find their footing right now. They're just being pressured so heavily by Katamari.
The Dynamo putting in a lot of work too with the Machine playing over the ledges. Both of them, it's just you have the Dynamo for the defensive ledge, you have a Machine for the offensive ledge, and you're not really able to position anywhere and get a nice foothold going. And this could be them grabbing a bit. Oh, Rain reset before they could grab, so they have the backup and pop again. Looks like they're gonna be sending one person back, and the rest of them are gonna be aggressing. Nice Zuka coming out from the side of from the side of We Love Katamari on the Hero Shot, and Zap's now gonna be picking up Rain and going for as much of the lead as they can. Already going down to 40, and then they're gonna have to back up from a couple bombs. Really nice pick too.
The Rainmaker was being chased there by the Slosher, and they was able to get picked out. The Zukas are coming out. Same with the bubble. The Zuka was able to find a pick, but the machine is still currently live. Osa's just trying to hold down that point. I believe they're just going to try and hold through mid, but we do see one currently entrenched. So at that point, it's going to be a bit of a tight situation, but if Osa can stay alive here, that is going to be very, very crucial for We Love Katamari because they can have that Booyah for retake.
Very true, and the cooler coming out outside of Angels, it gets taken down, so they're not going to have that fast respawn, but they will have a Zuka for defense. If they need it. Oh, but the Zuka gets popped a really unfortunate position, and Hiroshima almost finding two.
Can we talk about, I think that is Izanai on the shot for We Love Katamari. They are playing so well with that shot, just really getting to a lot of aggressive positions, able to find
another pick.
Junior, just as I'm about to mention them, getting a lot of picks. Are they going to be able to find another onto the squeezer here, just currently playing around mid?
They are
able to find the pick.
Maybe even the third.
They might get the third. No, they are going to be jumped out, but they are playing so insanely well right now.
It's always the cracked hero shots that you run into that just shut your team down completely. Just finding any pick that they can, and Zuka helps it, extending the range as well. I could never.
Yeah, like, even playing, like, weapons like Hero Shot or V Shot or anything, like, I think I can go off on, like, huge streaks and everything, and then out of nowhere I just get Zuka or something, and it just completely ruins everything. But if somebody's really able to find those aggressive angles, really able to find those picks, a Hero Shot or a V Shot can be the scariest weapon in the game.
Very true, and it's going to come down to the last 3 seconds of the game, 3 downside of Angels, and that's rain taken for We Love Katamari. It's going to be game 3 of Rainmaker Humpback going to We Love Katamari. It's going to be a 2-1 lead. This is really, if they go up 3-1 here, all they have to do is just win 2 more on this next match. Do you see any fist bumps? I'm just saying, fist bump would be nice.
Are we going to see a fist bump? Are we going to see a fist bump? Let's hold our breath. Are we going to see it? No.
No fist bumps.
But
we're really hoping to see the hero shot get one there. That would have been sick.
Regardless of that, like, entire thing, can we talk about the V-Shot from Katamari playing so insanely well? They were finding so many crucial picks, especially where we saw the Zuka that was popped over near left hump. They were just getting so aggressive, able to get them before they got picked off. They were still able to live and really find some more picks. We do see them getting very aggressive. They were able to find a pick on both the Squeezer and the Tri-Slosher there. But Luna is currently trying to hold down mid, but they do get hit by the Dynamo, and that does lead Katamari to a Game 3 victory.
Very true, and this is going to be our next map coming up is going to be Mako Clams. Honestly, not a really very much played map mode. Normally when you see this as Mako Zones, but I'm not one to go against it. Mako Clams is really good for brush players. Maybe we see a brush come out.
I wonder if we might see something like a brush come out. I know for sure we're gonna see probably some sloshers still, because Mako is one of those maps where, because of like left and right stack and a lot of the drop areas, using sloshers or anything that can really hit over angles, they are so insanely strong in this map, especially if one really knows how to play it correctly. But as we get into it, let's go ahead and see our comms coming in. We do see something pretty similar, constantly running for Katamari. And we do see a brush, as you said, on Angels. We do see a dually as well.
Dually, yeah. Dually's going to be a huge... Oh, because they're going to try and position to your north stack. If you get that crab in your stacks or on the right block, there's not a whole lot you can do to get around that. Still a little hints of crab meta come up here and there. And already an opening pick, 2 down already on the side of Angels. They're gonna. This is going to be a really good position for Katamari to get in and get some clams in the basket.
I just now noticed this, but they're all running suction bombs, so it's a quad suck bomb.
Oh, you're right.
That's definitely going to play very strong into aim drills, but with the way that Katamari is playing, they have such a huge momentum lead at the moment. Like, their mentality is like sky high, and we do see Ethan and I playing very aggressive with the Zuka. They are able to get a pick right as one is currently coming out of spawn, or trying to get them out of spawn, and we do see the brush and the machine getting a very interesting trade. It is a very tight situation, especially for the shot right now. Shot's just trying to get back.
Yeah, pretty heavy pressure actually coming off of the left stack. As the Zuka's going to try and pick off that Dynamo, get him out of position for the defense. But they already get chumps out. There's going to be some pretty good push power from We Love Katamari coming out, already picking off the Octobrush, shutting down the power of the brush that I was talking about earlier.
Definitely, like shutting down a brush on this map is definitely going to do a lot for you. I feel like the thing that Angels is doing is that Angels is having a very hard time really like trying to find advantageous positions for the specials. Like as we saw just a bit ago, Luna on the V shot did pop special pretty early, which unfortunately didn't find a whole lot of value, so they had to jump out of there with 2 going down. So this is once again going to be another push in benefit of Katamari.
Very true, and this could be huge because their Dynamo. Oh, but he comes back already. I was gonna say their Dynamo is already down, so that could have been a huge way to get back in the mid, which it looks like they are going to do. And Zap, if they can farm for cooler here, and they can get a pretty nice push going in, this could be coming from Angels, their first score on basket, and it could be huge.
Yeah, Angels could potentially find something here, but unfortunately the Zap does go down. If your Zap did not have Tactical, that is going to be something pretty bad for you. We do see the Dynamo getting very aggressive. He is able to find a pick onto the V shot there as they were popping T-Tag, my bad, as they were popping Zuka. I am scrambling a little bit.
Nah, no problem, it's fine. Heat of the moment type thing. This is definitely one of the fastest games out there. It's easy to get mixed up.
Yeah, I was about to say, not gonna lie, I would laugh if I saw a shot just turn into a T-Tag out of nowhere.
For real?
Just like
you thought I
Zuka.
had no strikes.
It's like, now I just imagine a Zuka where they're able to shoot, but instead of like explosions, it just shoots strikes. That'd be hilarious, but...
Oh my god, yeah, kind of like the old Rainmaker shots from Splatoon 1.
Oh no, that'd be scary, but I don't want to fight that.
Neither do I, no.
But going back to the game real quick, I definitely think the thing that Katamari is doing compared to Angels is that Angels, like in the first game over on Splat Zones, they had a lot of momentum. They were playing very aggressive, trying to really lock them out. But with the way Katamari is playing, they're playing that exact style, but playing it even more aggressive. They're trying to take a lot of angles. They're really finding fights together rather than trying to go isolated, which really leads them to getting a lot of crucial picks. And we do see a wipeout coming onto the side of Angels. Katamari could find a huge lead here, even more than they already have, just widening that gap. But one is going to get picked off. It is going to be the Zap, so they might lose their cooler. But at the same time, Paulo has to be insanely careful right now, especially with that machine watching below.
Very true. This could be where we can see that brush power coming in. If they can take position of right stack, they can get some huge shutdown coming in from mid. And we all know that right stack, that's where you want to put that clam in from, because you can just kind of get there. If they can get any jumps, maybe the V-Shot could jump. They could get a clam in pretty easily. But it looks like they're gonna have to defend it, and that's another clam slip past the fingers of Angels into their basket.
The thing about this is that even though Angels is getting insanely aggressive, We Live Katamari just has a lot more ways to really try and get in, especially like the brush was able to find Osa a little bit ago on Fight Stack, which was beneficial for them. But since they had to really try and go back to really clean up what was going on, it did leave them in a bit of a disadvantaged position. We do see 2 go down on Angels with them currently still being very in a bit of a tight spot. We do see the Zuka is able to find a few picks there with 2 going down on We Love Katamari. So at this point, it could be the Katamari's, I mean, not Katamari, Angel's momentum that they need.
Very true, yeah. That's their first clam in the basket. At this point, Dynamo's dead. This is their main area now. There's another clam in the basket. If they can keep this Dynamo gone, that's going to be their key to getting back into their basket and keeping them off their plat. Sorry, pretty close game. They need to get a couple more clams in, maybe come back on a second push, but they're going 3 down. Dualies are still respawning. If they can get back into mid here on the side of Katamari, this could be GG's.
Yeah, if Angels is really able to get back in here, keep that momentum going, it's going to be GG's for them. They can really try and find something here, especially with that, but they have to be careful because of that penalty. That penalty is pretty hefty. They're going to have to be insanely careful, but no, I don't believe they're going to be able to find it. And We Love Katamari is going to take game number 4, going up 3-1.
At this point, if you're Angels, you gotta realize Dynamo is shutting you down. They're Dynamo, and I believe that's the side of. Oh wait, 3 goals. We might see a fist bump. Hold on, pause that thought. Do we see a fist bump?
Are we gonna see a fist bump? Are we gonna see a fist bump? Let's see it.
Yeah, let's go, fist bump.
Let's go. We got the fist bump.
Fist bump between Ease and I believe it was our Dynamo player. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not. I believe that was the Dynamo player, but hey, we got the fist bump. Let's go. So I feel like something like that is definitely going to keep Katamari's momentum rolling. I feel like that is something insanely crucial about this entire match, is that being able to keep up the momentum, being able to keep your mentality up, it is going to absolutely spiral out of control for the team that has the momentum. They're going to keep playing confident. They're going to keep playing to their advantage, and that's the thing. is that regardless of your comp, you have to be confident in your weapons. If you're not really confident in what you're actually running, then it's not really going to end that well. You have to be able to be confident. You have to try and find those angles and really work with your team. And if you're not feeling confident, you're feeling scared, it's going to start affecting your gameplay.
Very true, but this match could still go either way. Coming up on the next map of ship-shaped zones. This is one of those newer maps that no one really is 100% confident on yet, speaking of confidence. So still, this could slip through the fingers of anybody. This could be Angels' game, this could be Katamari's game. What do you think about the setup of this whole map?
I do like ship-shaped zones. It is, like, I do like ship-shape as a map. It is very, very fun, but I feel like it is definitely a map that can be very polarizing. Especially with the way that zones can play. Like, you have a lot of angles where someone can really drop down into a pretty strong point. Like if you're going on top right or top left or anything, like you can essentially just drop down and find a very easy flank if the team's not expecting it, especially if they're trying to focus on the zone. We do see we do see a very interesting comp. We do see a double shot on Angels.
Double V shot, yeah, this is, and a junior too. We have the Shaw family popping off right now. This is going to be already a zone on closing to the side of Katamari, but then now it's just neutral. Dynamo is going to be huge for this map too, because this is a zones map. This is what Golden Dynamo especially thrives on, is just playing zone, playing over on this top ledge, especially on this map of ship shape, because these ledges are important for it where it's trying to position, but unfortunately gets picked off by the Fizzy of Paulo. This is going to be huge if they can keep that Dynamo shut down on the side of Angels. Sorry, taking an early lead. Will they be able to hold it though?
This is going to be a very crucial moment. I feel like with Ship Shape, it is a very momentum-heavy map. We do see Luna getting very aggressive there, but it is going to be picked off by Katamari there. This could be the cap that they need, with 2 going down on the side of Angels. The Zap is playing very aggressive, just really trying to find that zone. They are going to be able to find the zone. And just like you were mentioning earlier with Dynamo, Dynamo plays insanely well in this map, especially with how many angles it can cover, how many drops, how many like snipe points it can get. It's just so strong on this map especially.
Yeah, and already 2 Zukas on the side of Angels. One gets taken down, but one is able to be popped. This could be getting that Dynamo dispositioned, as I was trying to say earlier. Dispositioning Dynamo here is going to be the key to winning these sets, or winning the set in these games, because that is mostly their top area denial. But the Dynamo chumps coming out, Bubble coming out from the side of Angels as well. This is going to be a fight for zone.
Yeah, this is a very heavy fight for zone. Angels is just currently trying to find the advantage. They're really trying to just get the zone back into their favor, but we do see 2 go down to Katamari, but this could be the flip that they need. It is going to be a flip, and it's going to be a pretty huge penalty for Katamari, but Katamari does currently still have a pretty big advantage, especially in terms of the LPPs, and not just playing so well on the shot, is able to find 2 very crucial picks.
Indeed, and this is going to be a point where is Dynamo going to be able to flip zone by themselves? It looks like they're trying to play for that, and Chump's coming out. And there's that zone flip. This is it. Oh, and finding a pick too on one of the V shots on the side of Angels.
I feel like something that I didn't realize until a little bit later is that they don't really have many things that can really deal with, is that Angels don't really have a lot of weapons that can really deal with the Dynamo. They're going for like a lot of short range painting weapons rather than trying to like at least get something with a decent amount of range that can take out something like a Dynamo, like maybe running a heavy or something, like, or even
Heavy
a squeezer, yeah. Heavy squeezer, anything like that can really protect a lot of range. But as we say that, we already do see 3 go down on Katamari. This Angels is going to take the lead back into, is going to take the zone back into their favor. So at this point, it's could be the momentum shift that they need.
Very true. If they can get pushed up just a little bit past zone and take control and get those Zukas to shut down the Dynamo, we could see a huge lead coming up on their side, already outside of their buffer. And the one Zuka already being ready. This could be a huge momentum shift.
This could be a huge momentum shift, but as we see here, Katamari does have a lot of the specials ready. They're currently trying to push back in. The Dynamo does get taken out, I believe, by one of the Zukas. We do still see 1 up. We do see the Junior does currently have the bubble. The Angels is going to currently take the lead, but 2 go down on their side. Katamari could potentially make a very huge comeback here and really try and get the momentum back in their favor, but 2 go down on the side of Katamari. Angels does have advantage. This could be the game for them. I don't believe Katamari does have the advantage to push in.
And that's Angels' second game. This is going to be huge. This is, like I said earlier, the ship-shape zones, not really well-known map yet, so this could be the start of the momentum to get Angels back in this fight.
Absolutely, like this could be the sort of momentum that really gets them back in, especially if they get a fist bump. Are we going to see a fist bump? Let's see.
No, fist bump.
It is literally the meme. It is literally the meme of the Wii Sports golfing thing where you put it in and it's like yeah, it's either that or like the Soldier Boy edit where it's like like that's literally every single time we're waiting for a fist bump. But regardless, like the way that they were playing, even with a bit of a interesting comp, like heavily going into the shooter meta for Angels, they were able to make it work. And as we saw there at the end, they were really trying to focus down that Dynamo because the Dynamo, if they were going to stay alive, it was going to cause them problems.
Very true. If that Dynamo would have gotten that one, the pick on one of the V shots, they could have very easily contested zone by themselves. But unfortunately, they were able to get picked off, and Angels was able to keep zone, and they were able to win the game. And coming up next, Manta Tower, one of my team's struggle maps. Manta Maria. What are your thoughts on Manta?
I love Manta. Like, it was one of my favorite maps from Splatoon 2, and I also have a very funny story that I'll get into soon. Back when one of my matches got streamed at a LAN, it was so funny where they managed to cut to the stream right when I fall off the map by accident, and I just my entire team just sits there laughing, same with everybody at the view, and I'm just like, why?
It's come on. I saw a clip pretty similar to that from Low Ink, and it was the same map actually. Yeah, it might have been your clip. I'm not sure if it was in Low Ink.
No, it was not. It was not in a Low Ink. It was in a LAN. But regardless, getting into the game here, we do see Katamari is basically sticking with the if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of comp. They've been running the same thing. It's been working insanely well for them. They don't see any reason to change, especially keeping that Dynamo. Sun is playing so insanely well with the Dynamo there, and it is providing them a lot of advantage here.
And here we are seeing, as we were talking about that range steal Dynamo, the Squeezer does come out. So this could be very huge, especially on this map. Out of all maps, Squeezer is really good on this. I'm surprised we didn't see a ballpoint come out though. But either way, like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, definitely. But I feel like the reason that we might not see a ballpoint is that both teams want to try and keep up that aggressive playing without really trying to rely on something like a ballpoint, because ballpoint would be good, especially providing that jet. But with the way that they're playing, I feel like if they did want to use a jet, they'd probably bring in something like a V-Try. But yeah. Osa is getting very aggressive here. Was able to find a very good pick onto the Junior there. Junior's going to be currently respawning, and Katamari does take control of the tower at the moment.
You see a jump, and they couldn't get the pick. Zuka picking off one, and then there's two down on the side of We Love Katamari. Angels trying to take them off of tower, and they succeed in doing that. Are they going to be able to shift momentum back in their favor? Getting a little bit more of a lead on We Love Katamari.
At this point, with how many that they just had down, they really have the advantage. In trying to push the tower further, especially like you got to take control of the bunker, especially running something like a Squeezer. Like if Dynamo pops up, you got to be able to have something that can really push it back. But if you're not really able to do much to it, it doesn't do a lot. But as you can see there, the hero shot is able to find a good pick onto the V-Try on the side of Katamari. Two go down on each side is going to be a very tight situation with one. The Zap is unfortunately going to get taken out. They were able to get found over on flat, and this could be the momentum shift that Angels need in order to really take the lead here.
As you're saying, Zuka coming out, focusing that on bunker so they can get some control. It's completely painted for them, and they're taking lead, but two go down. It's super unfortunate for them, and three, it's just V-Shot trying to fend them off, but they did get lead. If they can hold mid, it's very likely that they'll have to get more lead, but if they can hold mid and play it correctly, then maybe We Love Katamari, this is the most points that they get at 68.
Yeah, but the unfortunate thing there is that we did see the Zuka shot was actually able to pick out the V shot on the side of Aim Drills, which did unfortunately lose them some of their special power. So at that point, they're going to have to try and charge it up again. And this could be the momentum shift that Katamari needs, but they have to be so careful with this checkpoint, especially. This is a very scary one. We do see the V shot is currently going around on flank. They do have the Zuka. Are they going to be able to find any other picks? I don't think they are. They are going to get picked off themselves. I don't know if that was from the Zuka, but I believe they did get picked off. So very well played from them there.
And Angel's doing a really good job of keeping Katamari in the man disadvantage. Maybe Katamari staggering in a little bit, but they seem to be constantly one or two, maybe even three down. And it's letting them get already to that second checkpoint with the bubble on the tower. This could be huge.
Yeah, this here is going to be an absolutely crucial checkpoint. If Aim Drills was able to get through it, which they did, that is going to be a huge momentum shift because they're not going to have to worry about standing over in street, just trying to wait for the tower, because that could be an easy flank route, especially for something like a Dynamo that can cover a lot of ground. So luckily for them, they were able to get past it, and this is going to be a huge lead, especially with the bubble just coming back up for the Junior here.
Pretty fast bubble, I'm not going to lie. That was same, but the BR bomb coming out to disposition them, get out of that bubble, get them off the tower. But it's already a very nice lead, a very sizable lead, already down to 25 points. With the cooler coming out on the side of Katamari, this is going to be their... Oh, but they're already 3 down. I didn't even realize. They're 3 down. They're going to have to play back and just play defense. So Angels is going to get back into their street and plat area.
Yeah, at this point, Angels does have so much momentum on their side. I don't know what in the world happened there for that pick, but that was very insane. So at this point, we did see one really trying to hold down the drop for Katamari onto their street. So at this point, Katamari has to try and get the momentum back in their favor, but Angels is just playing so aggressive, really trying to make sure that they're not able to get in. The bomb is able to find the zap there. Very well played from them.
So shutting down their cooler there, and honestly, Dynamo hasn't been staying alive a lot. They've been getting picked off, and that's what Angels needs, is that Dynamo to be down, as we have talked about in the past.
As we said earlier, like the Dynamo is just really controlling a lot of their field. If they're not able to get that down, it is going to be very difficult. But we do see some 2 crucial picks coming out from the side of Katamari. They do have the Zunga. Are they going to be able to find a pick? I believe they're going to be able to find a pick. I don't know what that was exactly, but we do see Luna currently playing the V shot. She is trying to get very aggressive, but no, they are going to get picked off. Very unfortunate there.
Very, very unfortunate. Dynamo does get back into the game, but this is only 8 seconds left of the game. They're going to have to get as far as they can. They're going to have to get as much power as they can, but they're 2 down. This could be it if they can stay on tower. And that's it. Angels takes a 6th game of the set to make it even 3-3. This is going to be a very good Game 7 coming in soon.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting Game 7 coming out right now. It is 3-3 currently. I really want to know if we're going to see a Game 9, especially in this set, but...
Hope so.
Like, something I want to mention throughout that. Also, we're going to see a fist bump. Are we going to say...
No! Come on. We get one and we can't get another, unfortunately.
Like, every single time we, like, wait for a fist bump, we need to just, like, have a drum roll playing in the background.
For real?
But
oh
something I want to talk about there is, like, the junior, I felt, was an insanely good pick coming out from... Angels there, because especially when getting onto certain points like the first checkpoint or the second one, it can really give you like a lot of ways to move around and try and find those picks without really exposing yourself into a lot of disadvantage, because in order for them to take you out, you have to either get into the bubble or they have to like destroy it and just like leave you vulnerable. So and like either way, they're gonna have to try and get aggressive.
Even then, if they do get into that bubble, as a Viper player, I tend to feed a bit. I tend to feed to bubbles a little bit, and just if you can expect that they're gonna come to that bubble, you can really play for that. If you can pay attention to the roster gonna come to that bubble, you can play to get that pick, and that was really huge for Junior on the side of, I believe, Angels, getting that bubble on tower for this first check and for the second check. But next we're gonna be seeing, I believe it's Haggle Rainmaker. This is an interesting map mode. I haven't even played this in a while.
Ooh boy, yeah, we did.
Army, like, 8 months ago.
Yeah, we didn't get, during our Luda set, we didn't get to this one, unfortunately. But regardless, I'm very interested to see what we're going to see coming out here. We do see Angels bringing out, once again, the junior. They're sticking with a very similar comp. Same with Katamari. They're all sticking with their comfort weapons at this point. So I feel like we're going to see some pretty interesting gameplay here.
Any flankers? Anybody going to flank, I wonder? Doesn't look like it. But the 2 are hovering towards that right side. It's just for defense, though. But are you one going down on each side? They're playing neutral very well, keeping that man advantage pretty neutral for the most part.
Yeah, they are trying to play everything. They are trying to play everything pretty even, but I think the thing that Angels has a bit of advantage here is running that bubble really gives them an opportunity to really try and push into some pretty aggressive angles, along with like really trying to take control of mid as they did kind of at the start there. But at the same time, they're not really able to push the Rainmaker too much here, because I believe they did have a 2-down situation for Katamari. So at this point, Katamari could potentially find a really good pick here. The Dynamo is currently being pressured back off 10, so they're not really able to get a lot going here.
Yeah, that canopy pressure is huge, because if you can get the Dynamo off, and maybe even off their plat, you can take that first check, which is really hard to take on this map. I'm now realizing how center that is towards canopy and the plat, 2 very strong chokeholds.
Yeah, I feel like Katamari is playing very good right now, especially trying to hold them off, but at the same time, they are not really able to find a lot of picks, unfortunately, but we do see 3 going down on the side of Angels. As soon as I say that, the Angels is going to get the Rainmaker popped. Osa is getting very aggressive with the Slosher here. Is able to find a very good pick with that machine. This could be the momentum shift that they need, but I'm not fully sure, especially considering how Angels has been playing.
Very true. Angels, they got the first check, and now all they need to do is hold. If they can hold them in mid with the Zuka coming out, it's there's not a lot you can do. I'm trying to figure out this map specifically, map mode. I haven't even seen it, but it's a hard position to get past to get up that ramp to push back area.
It is a very interesting position, to say the least. Like, as I said earlier, with playing that bubble, the bubble was already placed pretty aggressive, pretty up close to mid, but we do see the Zuka coming out here from Devade. Devade is able to find I believe it was 2 there, but we do see 3 going down on the side of Angels. This could be the lead that Katamari needs. If they can get this initial pop for the check, they're going to be able to, if they can jump it over, it is going to be a very, very quick lead for them.
And that is Zuka coming out, trying to set them up to do just that. But a lot of bombs coming out on the side of Angels check, because they know. But there's already the lead to 29. This is where Angels really needs to play defense, but they're already 3 down, and the Junior doing their best to hold off, and they do get one of the Dynamo, but they get picked off by Machine.
Yeah, very well played from the Machine there, really trying to get that follow-up, because even like in a position like that, even if one goes down, if your team is able to really follow up with it and find that pick, you already have that space. And the enemies are going to have to try and do their best to really counter that space. But once you already have it, it is going to play a huge advantage, especially like trying to push past this first checkpoint.
Very, very true. Coming past that first checkpoint, though, once you get up switchback, or I guess if you just jump from check to plat, that's already a huge lead, and that's enough to just hold. Because, like I mentioned earlier, those choke points, that's exactly what you want to control. And then Katamari has just that with Dynamo, but they do unfortunately go down. I believe maybe to Rain Pop. And Angel's already going to be picking up Rain in the man advantage. Gets 1. Can they find another pick with Rain?
I'm not fully sure if they're going to be able to find another pick. It is a very, very tight situation for Angels right now. Angels is currently trying to just get past that first checkpoint, trying to get past first pedestal. We do see the Dynamo currently holding down ramp, same with the Booyah, but unfortunately one is going to get taken out. I believe they're going Angels is going to try and push it right. The Rainmaker is currently the last one alive. It is going to be a wipeout on the side of Angels for Katamari.
A bit of miscoordination. The Rain was completely far away from the team. I guess they were trying to get a little bit of a sneak, but it just didn't end up working out. Very nice wipe out from the side of Katamari onto Angels.
Yeah, that was a very nice wipe coming out from Katamari. That is very, very crucial because all of them are going to be respawning. They're all going to be kind of pushed back into their spawn side over onto their plat. So unless they're really able to find a pick here or try and fight a push here, it is going to be a bit of a tight situation.
Especially with only 45 seconds left on the clock. If they want to do something, they have to make it happen now if they want to take that lead in the set. It'll be the first time.
As we see here, Angels does have 2 down on Katamari, but at the same time, they don't realize that one is currently flanking, but they are able to find a pick. Are they going to be able to jump it over? I'm not sure what they're going to do. They're going to probably try and find a jump, or they're probably going to try and take it left. The bomb is going to come in. It is going to take out the Rainmaker.
Fizzies have been huge tonight.
All of these bombs have been insane. Like, the Booyah is currently coming out. Paulo is
a shark with Paulo.
Paulo has a very good spot. They're going to be able to find 2.
Oh, but the bomb picks them off.
This could be a very crucial point.
All they have to do is just hold Rain, just back up, and that seems to be exactly what they're doing. This could be GG's from the side of Katamari, and that's GG's from the side of Katamari. That's going to be game 7. Katamari is up once again in the set, 4-3. Angels is going to have to pull something magic out of the back pocket if they want to win this set, because it is getting really close, really down to the wire.
Yeah, Katamari is definitely trying to get the momentum back in their favor, but as we say this, I want to see if we get a fist bump. Like, I'm sorry everybody if like the fist bumps get DS. I just love seeing them. Are we gonna see them? No, we are not.
No fist bump.
Like, regardless of how everything was played, I definitely think that Katamari really saw that they were starting to lose the momentum in the past few games and really trying to get it back, and that's exactly what they're doing here. They're trying to really find those openings, trying to find those picks, and just really try and just get aggressive. But as we see here, Paulo had a very good flank, just able to find 2 there, or a very good sharking position, but unfortunately they did get picked, and most of their teammates were currently respawning, which did lead Katamari to just hold it down and really just run it back. That way they could just easily take that lead.
Very true. But hey, did you see the next map mode? Did you see what the mode is? It's clams. You know what that means? The brush might come out. We might see another brush, and especially on this map mode, our brush player Ink Brush loves museum clams. We went honestly one of our better maps just because of them. Brush is huge on here because you can really juke people out. It's crazy. So seeing museum clams, one of my favorite maps. Just museum, one of the top tier maps in the game. I believe ProChar made a tier list on. He placed this like best map in the game or something like that. So I'm excited to see how people will play it.
He might have. I haven't watched many Parchar stuff lately. Also, for those who do not follow Parchar, please go check him out. Does a lot of good stuff for the Splatoon community. So,
Very true.
but regardless, I do very much like Clam's museum. But even though we don't see a brush, we actually do finally see a T-Tech coming out. Just overall, because we haven't seen one just yet, and that is going to be very interesting, especially bringing in the strikes.
Yeah, because the strikes are going to be huge, because they can strike through on plat. They can bring a clam through that pretty easily. There's not a lot you can do there, just get a few lucky shots through the strikes. But Artie still playing very neutral mid, very passive. Both teams just don't want to get that first pick on them. They want to stay alive, but the side of Angels is going to go down by 1. But the Bubble's still coming out of a very good defensive position. And Zap's trying to flank up left. We'll try to actually get the pick. They will. But will they get another? They will. They get 2. They trade out, but that's still a really good position for Angels to be in right now.
Yeah, that is a very good position for Angels. Like, being able to find those 2 crucial picks, really giving them that map control. It's going to do a lot for them. We do see Sun in a bit of a tight spot, just trying to really get out, especially with the Booyah coming out. It is going to be 2 down on the side of Katamari. This could be the momentum shift that Angels needs to really try and find an opening and really try and find lead here.
Very true. They have that bubble back online, and it's coming out with strikes as well. They could see we see a very good push coming from the side of Angels if they can get those strikes out. You see Perspective Squeezer just playing behind that wall very well. The strikes do come out to get them off the plat, and they're already 1 down. The Dynamo gonna have to be playing very, very close to try and keep them out as much as they can. Looks like Paulo's playing really aggressive here.
They have to really try and just hold them out, especially with Paulo being able to just hold this position. Like, just holding on to Spinner is very crucial, but ooh, we did see 3 go down on Angels. I don't believe they're going to really have much to follow up that push with, but we do see Devade currently holding on to the bubble, just trying to really just get aggressive. We do see Izanagi just getting a very crucial pick there, but unfortunately they are going to get traded out by Paulo, but Paulo is once again going to get traded out as well. Are they going to be able to hold it open? I don't believe they are.
But they do have enough clams. They have enough clams to pass around and make another ball, and there's that next ball. They could still make another push here. If they really put their brains to it, they could get another really good push coming.
Yeah, they can definitely get a very, very strong push going as long as they're able to coordinate things, especially seeing that we see the Squeezer go down pretty crucial. We do see 1 currently on plat. I don't know if they're going to be able to find a pick. We do see everything just kind of swarming in, especially with the bubble trying to be there. We do see the Junior going down. This could be the push that Katamari needs. They have to really watch whoever's holding basket at the moment. So, especially with all the specials coming in, they're coming out pretty early. They're not really able to hold everything down. We do see the Zuka coming in. I believe we do see the Squeezer on the flank. They are able to find...
great pick.
He's able to find a very, very good pick there, but unfortunately, I don't think Katamari is going to have a lot to really try and get this momentum push here.
This is a huge moment for Angels, keeping them out of their plat and keeping the ball out of the basket. This could be a shifting moment of the game since Katamari wasn't able to get this in. If they don't get another chance, this is probably the best chance they had. And Azuka coming out there, still trying to keep that alive, but 3 specials online on the side of Angels, and they're all 3 coming out.
Yeah, Angels is popping all their specials, really just trying to take control of mid-space right now, because especially in this map, if you're able to hold mid-spinner, really give your team a lot of good positions, especially running something like a Squeezer. Like, you can wall up and just make sure that no one's able to really jump through, but is able to, like, have a very aggressive angle to really just hold them back. But we do see Katamari. This could be the push that they need. We did see 2 go down. The machine is currently respawning back onto the side of We Love Katamari.
Top route.
They are going to take the top route. Are they going to be able to find 2 go down on the side of Angels? This could be the push that Katamari needs.
It's very, very true. They do get to go to the top route, and they have the pressure of just Angels having to look up, because if they let that claim go in and another one going in, that is going to be lead for Katamari. Devade trying to play as much of a defensive position as they can, and they got 1 pick, but it's just not enough to keep Katamari out. And Zap has clams more to put in the basket. Are they going to get there in time? They aren't. So it's not a huge lead. This is still very doable from either team to win the game.
Something I want to mention is that Katamari played that push so well. They were having their Zap hold up onto top spinner, and what they did by doing that is that they were able to throw their power clam over to them, which really allowed them to get an easy score in and take the lead back. But as we do see here, Angels is really trying to make a push, but Katamari is playing that so well, just playing a very beautiful counter push at this point. Slashing Machine getting very aggressive, able to find a few picks there. Squeezer currently going down on Angels. This is going to be the momentum that Katamari needs. Angels has to do something here, especially being 35 seconds left on the clock.
All they really need here is just Azuka. They need Azuka to come online, get them out of their plat, maybe the strikes too. That's their main disposition. If they do get the basket open, are they going to be able to get any points? So no, it's 2 goes down, but they do take lead. what? I think it was Tri-Slosher Squeezer got him in, and it's gonna be a wipe. But that's 20 seconds left on the clock. All they have to do is hold now. But they're already starting to flood back into the plat on the side of Katamari. This could be going either way. This game.
This is definitely a game that is going back and forth. The Katamari has to play insanely patient, or just trying to play insanely aggressive. We do see the man advantage currently coming out of Angels. Katamari does have 2 power clams. They do have something to try and go off of here, but unfortunately they did have 2 respawning, so they don't have a lot of special advantage. We do see the Slosher machine going down, unfortunately, on Katamari. Same with the Tri-Slosher onto Angels. This could be the push that Angels needs to probably take it to a game 9, but I'm not fully sure. They do still have a little bit of time. Katamari's really trying to find something here, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get it in time.
They don't have a lot of time left. They're going to go up top. Oh, but the balls go down, and that's it. Angels taking it to game 9. This is going to be the deciding game coming up next. Very, very close set from both, for both teams.
Once
now,
again, we
see...
see...
question, fist bump?
Are we going to get a fist bump to celebrate the game 9, please? Let me see the fist bump. Let me see the fist bump.
Fist bump.
Fist bump, please.
No. Hey, maybe we'll get one game 9. Maybe we'll get one game 9. Whoever wins.
Yeah, this is. I'm very curious about what this game 9 is going to have. Both of these teams are playing phenomenally. Like, they are finding so many crucial picks. They're finding so many crucial positions. Like, even on this map especially, the backdoor push that Angels had without even, like, alerting Katamari, they were able to really find a decent lead there and just hold it down, especially at that ending push, as we can see here.
Alerting Katamari, I didn't even see it myself. That was sneaky. Like, oh my god. And that was able to take lead too. And then we're seeing here, Zap really is able to get a great pick on Devade. But just, they don't have a lot of time to move into plat, and they got held back by all the bombs. And there's just not a lot they can do there. One ball going down, another ball going down, and that was it. That was wraps.
Yeah,
next
like,
game mode coming out.
With the backdoor push that I was talking about, the Junior was able to really get in, pop the bubble to give themselves some protection. I believe the Tri-Slosher was also there with them, and I believe they were able to really, the Tri-Slosher was able to push back enough to get enough clams, and they weren't able to take him out in time, and he was able to just throw the clams in and get the lead for Angels there. But we are going to our decider match. It is going to be Barnacle and Dime Splat Zones. What's your thoughts here, Vortex?
One word. Missiles. Oh,
missiles.
My missiles. I love missiles on this map. Because they're so huge. Just being able to put, like, if you missile their plat, for example, the left plat, that's the huge control point that you want, because then they can't get past you on the right side of mid. They can't get past you on the left side, because there really is no left side. So all you have to do at that point is just hold their plat and they're out. So missiles can be a huge part of getting there. I don't believe we'll have any missiles, but Zuka work just as well. Strikes even. It's just any disposition special that can get you out of their plat, allow you to get back in, is huge. It's kind of like Vouts on Inkblot. This plat section is amazing choke point for whichever team wants to take it. And
yeah, Barnacle and Dime.
Really fast.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I feel like the thing with Barnacle and Dime as well, depending on the way that you play, especially with the little pathways that are through zone and everything, like on the left and right side, if one is not really able to get up to that position fast, like onto plat and everything, that person can really hold that drop area very, very close, and it is going to prevent them from really trying to find a lot of good angles to really try and push in there.
But here we are, Game 9, the deciding match of tonight's Ludi match of Division 4 between We Love Katamari and Angels. This is going to be the final 5 minutes. Who is going to win?
We're going to have to see, but we do see a bit of a comp change coming out from Angels. We do see the V-Dualies coming out, which I feel is going to play insanely strong, especially bringing out the Crab Tank. Crab Tank, I feel, is going to provide a lot of advantage here, especially long-range coverage, because they don't have a lot of long-range weapons. Oh, that was a bit of an unfortunate duel. That is a bit of an unfortunate dodge roll coming out from Angels, losing their duelie pretty early on, not really able to have a Crab Tank to really counter-push. But we do see Luna popping the Zuka there. Very well played flank, especially coming out from Angels. What in the world?
Exactly. That's going 2 down. It's allowed them to take zone, and now they're going to be able to push into that plat area as we're seeing right now. And they're going to have to hold this with as much power as they can. They already have a Crab online. Are they going to be able to make it work and take it out? There it goes. Crab up.
With the Crab up, that is going to cause a lot of problems, but the Booyah is going to come out and
it's down.
3 go down from the side of Angels. Katamari Osa, what in the world did you do there? What was that Booyah? That was able to find 3 people. That is an absolutely insane momentum shift.
The Booyah of all time, might I say. Oh my god. I guess not only can those specials be used to get in, but also to keep people out. That Booyah was absolutely insane. Great stuff from the side of Osa of Katamari.
Yeah, we do see Angels just really trying to play retake at this point. The crab does get popped pretty early. Devade is just trying to push in. Same with Paulo on the machine there.
And there's lead.
We do see Paulo is able to find the machine. He is able to find, I believe that was both the machine and the dynamo there. So very well played from them. The lead does not flip over into Katamari's favor just yet.
Yeah, this is going to be a very crucial moment. Are they going to be hold, or are they going to be picked off 3 again by the Booyah Bomb? I'm going to be waiting to see when the next Booyah Bomb comes out. They have Chum's Cooler, and then Angels already has the Crab Tank back, the Zuka back, and the Bubble. Zuka coming out. It's lead again. It's going back and forth. Pretty close match, just halfway through.
Yeah, this definitely is a very crucial point. We do see a 3v3 situation on both sides. The Dynamo does go down on the side of Katamari. They have to really try and find a push here. They do have the Tactical. 3 go down, I believe, on the side of Angels. But we do, Luna is currently playing very heavy on the flank. Izanai has to try and find a trade there or try and get the pick off. They are going to be able to find the trade, and the Katamari is able to take zone back into their control.
Very true. They're already, it's a 3v3. Izanai is still respawning, but it looks like they're being pushed back pretty far. They're finding a really aggressive position just to keep them out. They don't want them getting back into that zone because they need to get out of this buffer and get more of a lead. Also playing a very aggressive position. Playing on the right, but gets picked up by Luna's Zuka. I believe Luna might have, no, just one, but it's still very good Zuka.
It was a good Zuka. It was able to find one, but unfortunately it was going to get traded out onto the side of Katamari. Katamari does have a very strong lead here. They have to try and get their specials back. They have to really try and play to their advantage. This could be the lead swap back for Katamari. If Angels does not do something here, they have to try and get back. It is going to be a 3-down situation. It is going to be a wipeout.
This could be game.
This could be game. I believe this is going to be game. I believe Katamari is going to take it. Katamari takes the set 5-4.
That is crazy. Very good fight from both teams. Just the small things that just set you back. Unfortunate, but a very good performance from Katamari. Very good performance from Angels. Will we see a fist bump? Come on,
please let there be a fist bump. Let there be a fist bump.
Let's go.
We got the fist bump for the final game 9. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. That was like one of the most insane sets played. Like something that, like right here on the replay, we do see the dualies did get picked off, but out of nowhere, like 2 of them get picked off. I believe all of them were kind of on plat. We do see the shot go down. Paulo does unfortunately get picked off on the machine. The dualie does go down somehow. I don't know what happened there. It might have been a bomb splat. And then at that point, it just snowballs in.
It's over. You only have a little bit amount of time. Everybody has to just kind of feed just to get to zone as fast as they can, and it's just too late. But still, very good performance from both teams. If I were either of them, I'd be happy. It was a great fight from both.
They definitely, like, Angels, you guys did insanely well. Just gotta pick yourselves back up. You had so much momentum. Just keep it rolling for the next few sets. But regardless, insanely fun sets. But we'll go ahead and toss it back in just a second to Falco. If you guys want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter at JKingCast or at JKingTheVA. Both of those work out. But yeah.
As for me, Vortex, or .Vortex, the .9282, very bad Discord tag. I'm sorry, they screwed me over with the new tags coming out. But on Twitter, it's a little bit better, at capital V0 and then Vortex. Underscore 3 times, but that's about it. Coming from me tonight, that's gonna be it. I hope all of y'all on stream have a great night.
Have a great night, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and send it back to Falco. Go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, J King. Thank you, Vortex. What an incredible set. I mentioned this before in chat. That is the 4th game 9 so far in our opening Ludi Tonight weekend out of like the 8 sets that we've had on stream. Really impressive play by both teams. But yes, we are running a little bit behind schedule, so very quickly we are going to hop into this Forgotten versus Alliance Moon set. That is going to be Splat, Fufu, and Weefslider on the mic. We're going to take a few moments, take a little bit of a break to get our new commentators here. But you guys don't go anywhere. You are watching Ludi Tonight on Splatoon Tourney. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ludi Tonight. We are getting ready for the second match happening tonight. Forgotten versus Alliance Moon. 2 Div 5 teams who are going to go head-to-head tonight to try and secure a Week 1 victory. On the mic tonight, we have Fufu and Weef. So both of you, I'll let you take it away.
Hello everyone, I am Weef, and I am here joined by the wonderful Fufu. And like Falco said, this is a Division 5 match. 2 teams that for me need no introduction. I've seen these faces around plenty, and so I'm very, very excited to see how this match goes. Fufu, do you have any thoughts before we get started here?
I'm coming in with it could just be anything. This is the first week of Ludi, so of course, like you said, we've seen these teams, and both of these teams are incredibly strong. I think it's gonna be a good battle. I'm just excited to see this.
Of course. Yeah, the first week really does kind of set the tone for how the rest of the season is going to go. You can always turn it around, but, that first very stinging loss or the first triumphant victory really does just kind of and get the momentum rolling. And so here, these teams are definitely going to be fighting, wanting to get that first win. So now we are starting here on Brightwater Springs, and this is what Forgotten, personally, for me, having fought them quite a bit, is known for taking some really unconventional comps and making them work to the best of their ability. Wings over there on that incline tri-stringer over there, while the side of Alliance Moon is running something a bit more traditional, but still shaking it up a little bit with something I don't see too often in that Rapid Blaster deco.
See, I'm just happy to see some backlines here on Brightwater Springs. Always my favorite thing to see, just being able to hold that middle. And, we see some flanks coming out here on the left, but we do see Forgotten taking a really good, strong first take of the zone, and they don't take any second to hesitate and make their way onto the ramp. Again, we see our 10 here, Kronos. Honestly, using the shield on this ramp is perfect. Just making the way for your teammate, and a Zook on top of that, getting a really good pick. Will they keep it coming? No, unfortunately, that was put to a stop pretty quickly as Alliance Moon goes ahead and makes their way back in.
I've been fighting a lot of tri-slashers lately in Sendo Q and in tournament sets, and one thing I will say is it is so annoying to try and get them out of an area. So the fact that they were able to pick the Kronos off so early in that hold really made a way for them to get back in and start getting some points of their own on the board. Zuka's going to come back and get a beautiful pick onto that backline of theirs, and so that leaves the way for the rest of the team to move in. They're all coolered up, they're ready to go, and they're ready to start getting some points, serious points on the board here. Already taking down right past 60, and it looks like they could potentially even start to get leads, but that's only if they're not too heavily contested here.
Experiencing a little bit more of a bloodshed here in center as both teams are kind of making their way pretty down here on Alliance Moon. Forgotten already having hold of the zone. I believe they're going to go ahead and make their way back into the ramp. Again, these teams are wasting absolutely no time to try to push the other team back into their base and try to secure this space as long as they can. And, it's just... Yes, it's amazing to see it happen so quickly.
Forgotten here taking down points past their penalty and inching their way ever so closer to a potential KO here. Kronos going to be moving in, and like I said, once they get in, it's going to be so difficult, even with that E-leader, and even with all the aggression that they can force, to get them out here. 10 seconds left on the board, and all Alliance Moon can do here is try to force themselves at the zone, but the defenses of Forgotten are just too strong right now, and that looks like it's a KO. 1-0 Alliance Moon taking the Brightwater Springs game.
The lockout is strong on this map. Once the team is forced back, it's incredibly hard to just make their way back in.
For sure, especially with such a strong backline there, Wings. A lot of people really sleep on the tri-stringer, I feel like. It does have a lot of very obvious weaknesses, but at its core, it is just a E-leader with slightly shorter range that can arc shot, that can do AoE, so it can be really powerful on a map like this.
Oh, absolutely. The AoE is probably one of its best attributes. And, if a player is good enough to hold the weapon, they are sure going to do some damage.
For sure. Not to downplay the play from that tent umbrella there once again. It's just such a weapon that no other weapon you can even compare it to, with a huge shield, with the ability to just tank shots. It's like nothing else, and so a lot of players have a lot of difficulty fighting it, including myself.
10 is always a hard one, honestly. If you're lucky, you may be able to just find a way around them and shoot them down, but a good 10, I don't know if they allow that weakness to show up so quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Now we are going to be moving on to Inkblot Art Academy on tower control here, a absolute classic of many, many a game. It's certainly a map, but it's one of the most balanced tower control maps. It's a classic.
Love this map. Honestly, it's pretty easy to get stuck in the center if you aren't quick to push up past it. But God, the ramp is such a bloodshed when it comes down to it. I love this map, in all honesty. A classic, just like you said.
It's a tower control map in its purest form. You do have to really push far ahead of the tower, but it's still not too hard to contest it at certain points. But once the enemy gets up in the bats, that's when things start really getting really hairy. Controlling the area in front of the tower, controlling the area around it is paramount here. Getting ahead far enough, but not overextending and leaving your tower rider exposed is the name of the game here. And so we could see some really interesting columns with Forgotten. It's you never know what they're gonna run. It's so fun to watch them, but we'll see how it goes here.
A lottery box. Honestly, I am expecting to see the Tri-Stringer again. Ironically, ran into these guys earlier. Tri-Stringer fighting strong, if you ask me. So I'm really excited to see what they do bring out here.
Something really funny about the Tri-Stringers, I think, at least subconsciously, people forget it can one-shot, and so they play in its range a lot more than they would potentially a Charger. The Charger has that laser, and you know the core mechanic of a Charger is it one-shots, but the bow, it's a little bit less obvious, it's a little bit less threatening on the surface, and so I feel like a lot of people who aren't experienced in fighting those bows can kind of tease its range a little bit too much and get pretty hard punished for that.
Oh yeah, never underestimate a backline player because next thing you know, you're taking a shot to the face. Coming from another backline herself.
Oh yeah, of course. Worst thing is when you're in an inkjet and you're like, I am invincible, and then you get sniped out of the air by somebody who's very talented at their arc shots. It's something to behold.
Like bows, I mean, reflux, like, oh my god, speaking of bows, reflux, my beloved, on top of that, it's like you never expect it, and then suddenly it's like, you were splatted by reflux. Imagine.
It's the Hoffman weapons, they do have, like I said, a lot of very powerful, like, very easily to exploit weaknesses, but when you have a player who knows how to play around the strengths and mitigate the weaknesses, who just knows how to min-max those things, it can be like tough to figure out what to do here. We do see Kronos switch from that tent onto the sword, and we see double sword action out here from Forgotten, but Alliance Moon out here running some interesting weapons of their own. Vanilla Slosher, Vanilla Roller, and of course the dreaded Snipe Rider 5H.
Oh, Snipe Rider, here we go. It looks like they decided to take a little bit of turn here for this pencil. Very lovely to see.
Yeah, the cooler is going to allow them to kind of push full speed ahead here. Already you see a few players back, and they are getting picks that they do crucially need. The bucket player over here is taking a lot of aggression here on the right side, only to lead them into the roller player, who does end up getting a nice pick on that sword. Now they are going to be sharking over here still, just trying to draw as much aggro and get as many picks as they can while still playing it safe, and they're doing a very good job of that, taking all that aggro so that their teams can take space, and they just keep on getting the picks. It looks like they're starting to move left, and they are going to make this first push here onto the tower, already barreling their way towards that first checkpoint.
Is great to see. Honestly, a ratty roller is all we need. Never catch yourself beneath that roller before you get crushed. We barely see them here taking the tower, but unfortunately that bomb making a good explosion here of the Snipe Rider, unfortunately. Again, we see a little bit of roller action as they move to the side. They might just try to bait the members of Forgotten here and hopefully lure them into lower ground and get some good picks, but unfortunately getting picked up here by the shooter.
It's much, a lot of heavy bloodshed here in mid as both teams are 2 down, picks after picks, but it looks like Alliance Moon is going to opt to at least touch that tower a little bit more, while Forgotten is still trying to get back on their feet here. Mid is still very heavily contested, but it looks like Forgotten is moving back in. However, the Snipe Rider is doing a good job at holding on the left, and Forgotten is once again 2 down. Really starting to struggle. I believe that is 3 down, and that is a probably delayed wipe here. Alliance Moon has their chance to push once again.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier, the bloodshed and just the halted mid, but once you get that ball rolling, it is rolling, as we do see members of Alliance Moon starting to make their way onto their bat and plats here in the attempt to secure that space and continue pushing the tower forward. again, Forgotten's not going to really let them take that chance too hard in attempt to try to force some sort of defense, but Alliance Moon still holding that tower strong, and an amazing Zuka shot here. They're just making haste in taking Forgotten space here as the tower just keeps moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. This is where things, like I said, start to get really dangerous. They do have those strikes to buy themselves a bit of time, and the specials are going out. However, Kronos on that sword there does get picked off mid Zipcaster. They are starting to get the picks that they need to drive Alliance Move out, but isn't going to be enough in time. That was a very heavy push there, and that's going to be kind of a hard one to come back from.
If they get stuck, unfortunately, in that mid bloodshed all over again, it might be hard to push this back. However, you know, in this game, quite anything could happen, and as we saw earlier, it can get really snowbally. So if they're able to take the same steps, if not similar steps that Alliance Moon took against them, they might just be able to push this tower all the way to 17, for all we know. But as we see here, Alliance Moon is not going to go down without a fight, as they are trying to push members out and actually taking 2 of them down in an attempt to reclaim their own space.
Yeah, it was an all-out duel up there in Bats, and a desperate attempt to take it because that spot can be so crucial on pushing for this map. However, it just did not quite work out in their favor. They didn't even break that first checkpoint, unfortunately, but it looks like they might have a gambit at taking it again here, but they are being taken on by this roller. However, they do get the 2-down situation, and that is exactly what they need to start gaining some ground. Again, Cloud immediately going to be going full speed ahead up into the Bats area, getting a beautiful pick with the hammer, going to continue on holding here and just dueling and doing what a wiper does best and trying to hold these Bats as long as they can, getting more and more picks until that tower breaks the checkpoint and is barreling, like I said, full speed ahead toward that second one, which is going to be ever so crucial to break.
Playing that distraction game, playing that poking game is amazing, and just trying to hold the attention of the opposing team while your teammates continue to make that space and try to push forward and just get the points. And honestly, they're doing a great job as we see a double here from the Stanford coming out.
Triple?
A triple, actually. Wow, and they might just get a quad here. A wipeout. Insane. We do see an amazing wipeout here from the Stanford.
And that's a lead.
That's such a lead.
And they're continuing to go. They are 2 down at this point. It may be in their best interest with only 30 seconds left in the game to just try to quit while they're ahead and hope that Alliance Moon can't make an overtime push, but they are still trying to hold mid with all their might, and that does lead them to going into a 3-down situation, which with all of these specials available on Alliance Moon's side, the Cooler is going to go out first, and they have the bubble, they have the tri-strikes, they have that Zuka. Things can look very scary for Forgotten, but they do have quite a bit of time, and so playing here, they want to not rush into things. They want to play things carefully, know how much time that they have left, but also have that sense of urgency because things can get scary real fast.
We did see earlier the snowball. Whoa, here, Cloud just immediately taking the tower while they could and just snuck by, ending the game and securing the victory they needed.
Yeah, that's just kind of the thing that you can afford to do while you're on defense in overtime. It can very quickly backfire, but if you get those displacing specials like that tri-strike, which is just, you know, really has its niche in tower control, you can do something like that and make it basically impossible to win in an overtime scenario like that. So really the key is not letting you get to overtime, but obviously easier said than done.
Strikes on tower control, chef's kiss. Honestly, we saw 2 very big snowballs in this map, and it's just that ending quad here that the Stamper got. I think that really just helped push their team to that lead, even though it was so far up in Alliance Moon's favor. You know, never back down, never give up. And they really put that into play.
Yeah, for sure. And really that is kind of the quality that could potentially, you know, take you very far in a game like this. Just being able to keep your mental straight even in dire circumstances like that. And now they have bought themselves a 2-0 lead, which does give themselves, you know, it's a very good start is all I'll say.
They have a lot of momentum to work up, especially after that, going from middle to just all the way pushing down to, I believe it was around 10 points. I'm going to be flowing with like momentum, if you ask me. So I believe like they're also going to try to carry this on to Humpback Rainmaker, which is another one of those maps where it's like, you never know, there's never a secure lead because anything can happen on this map.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I was gonna say, speaking of momentum, now we have Humpback Rainmaker because that really is it. I'm a big fan of Vac Cheese on this map personally.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just that choke point, it feels like it's like a hand into a glove, Vac fitting into that choke point. It's the exact width that you need to just break through it and get those really crucial points right after those checkpoints that often determine games. If you can make a lead just a little bit farther than your opponent, that's what wins you. But something also I need to mention is that I've seen a lot of people lately playing on the flank route a bit more when the enemy is not successfully going around and really taking them from behind where they don't expect it, getting it triples and doubles and all the things. So that's really something to look out for. If you're either of these teams, both of these teams have some very sneaky players on their rosters.
See if they're going to use that flank route. It's a very long one, to say the least. But, you know, this game is very high risk, high reward, as we saw in the last game. Anything can happen. This map is a can of worms.
Yeah, for sure. It's annoying too. The fighting in mid is so weird and hard to wrap your head around with how weird the geometry is. It's where people are above you, they're below you, they're to your side. It's in an instant, things can flip on its head and really snowball.
It's so bumpy. I wonder what backlines are going to bring out. I'm low-key expecting a Splatling. Charger feels really weird to position, but also V-Charger is an interesting choice if you want to choose for the VAC, but also Ballpoint Nouveau exists.
And so does Jet Sculpture.
That too. I always forget about it. I forget the Jet kits, but if they're good, they're good.
Angle Shooter, I feel, has been making a bit of a comeback here. I feel like a lot of people, after it gets buffed again and again, have been underestimating that. But we see both players take out a ballpoint, and Forgotten here going to bring back the tent, which I feel like could be very powerful here with just the sheer amount of choke points this has. If you have a tent facing you down that route to the checkpoint, what are you going to do? You can't push that.
Absolutely, and I think it's going to be very crucial here. If they were able to get this first push, as we do see the 10 rapidly approaching the checkpoint, and again using the shield to force that choke and just force them out. And, you know, exactly what you said, prediction on point.
Yeah, we do see in counter to the tent playing on right there, the rest of the team tries to go left, but they do end up getting picked off a little bit. We are seeing some picks go out, and again, both teams are 2 down. This last little stand is going to be really what decides it, but Coronas is still getting picks left and right. Forgotten is 2 down as of right now, meaning that a push is unlikely from them, and Alliance Moon is going to be the first to pick up and start to get points on the board.
They're going to move here, or try to move here, and they'll probably try to displace, but unfortunately a good old Fizzy Bomb, I believe that was a Fizzy Bomb, taking out the Rainmaker, allowing Forgotten to make a little bit more space and possibly put a stop to Alliance Moon's short push here.
Crab at the ready, so is the Jet, which is going to come out and trying to buy themselves some space or just hold it here. Zuka is also ready from them, and they are starting to get the picks that they need to start moving forward, start buying mid, but they do go 2 down there. I believe those specials were not able to be used here, as we see a Zuka duel that ends up in a perfect trade, and the buckets are moving up. It's really hard to gain back the space that they've lost on this map.
We see a lot of back and forths on this map. Again, as we were talking about earlier, the mid can be really interesting, to say the least, to get here. But here we see Alliance Moon going straight for the checkpoint. As all 4 members are meeting the members of Forgotten, we do see a special coming from the ballpoint, so they might just pop that as they do in attempt to force out this push. Wait, we see a jetpack duel. Unfortunately, Alliance Moon going down 3, and Forgotten again making no haste and just going in for the checkpoint while they have the time.
Yeah, Tent you see immediately moving up, doing what they do best in buying that space, and gonna be really good at holding it, especially with the Zuka here. Not quite able to find a pick, but putting a lot of pressure and allowing Forgotten to take that checkpoint. Once again, we see a team that is incredibly scrappy, and even after a pretty bad disadvantage, they just get right back up again and are really threatening the lead here for Alliance Moon as they are continuing to get picked off. But Forgotten themselves are 2 down. All they need, though, is to pick up this Rainmaker, but they might not even have the chance to do it. Unless they get 2 down, that's also something they can do. And the Zuka gains 3, so they are still very much in control of mid, but the Rainmaker is going to reset before they have the chance to do much.
we did see Cronus are absolutely fighting tooth and nail to try to hold the space. They did it. Honestly, bought their team a lot of time as Alliance Moon is still trying to make the space to take control of this Rainmaker once again. But again, Forgotten is just not shy putting any pressure. They want this lead, and they are not going to go down without a fight. As we do see the Splash here trying to get the rain, but unfortunately that reset and a Jit on top of that, Alliance Moon is going to quickly use this time to buy the space and hopefully try to go for that Rainmaker again.
Tent is still alive, or at least was, as I said that, just pushing forward and being a general nuisance here, as once again just a massive scrap in mid where teams are just getting behind each other. No solid ground gain, no solid ground losses. It's just back and forth, back and forth. We are still having a lead within 1 point. All Forgotten needs to do is get past that checkpoint here, but Alliance Moon is opting to make another push, probably hoping to get a few more points on the board there to make it more difficult for Forgotten to come back. However, Alliance Moon is going 2 down, but the Rainmaker does get some nice picks there and is going to opt to just run for it as their team provide them an advantage. Going to be Rainmaker is going to be left there in that awkward little side pit there, which is probably going to be pretty difficult for Forgotten to displace it out of.
And yeah, for sure. And honestly, we did see a couple Zukas come out. Zuka, it's resurgence. It's just an incredibly strong special. And 10, we do see Cronus here with this 10, again, using their shield to prove the point that we made early and unfortunately going down. But Zuka's a very strong special and has been used incredibly well this game to try to just put stops. But again, both teams, we're back in this middle situation. Both teams fight tooth and nail in the middle, and we still haven't shifted. Oh, wait, hold on. Forgotten might just push his lead just a little bit more, just what they need. With 30 seconds left on the clock, even if it did cost 2 of their members. Cronus here taking a really good jump out, but they have the lead, and I believe they're going to come back and just try to secure this best as they can, especially knowing that the games they've had have been pretty stally to begin with.
Yeah, they have about 10 seconds left on the board to get right in front of this here, and already they take the checkpoint, and they're running further, and it's only the 10 left alive who pops Suzuka, and that's gonna be nearly a checkout. 3 seconds left on the clock, but does Forgotten have enough time to even start popping it? They do. They have to pop it quick, and they have to grab, and they have to make it count, but the tri-checks are coming out and making it impossible for them to pick up. They pick up and are immediately taken out, and that is Game 3 going to Alliance Moon, evening the score is a little bit, going 2-1.
Yeah, it's not over till it's over. They saw the opportunity, they saw the space, and just forced their way through it. This is what again, we were talking about this earlier, where no matter the lead you have on this map, especially Rainmaker, you're never going to be safe, as we saw here.
Especially when the leads that we did see were so precarious. You had the checkpoint leads where it was 1 point, all they had to do was move slightly forward, and then Forgotten pushed 10 points ahead of that. Barely anything, barely a few feet. And then Alliance Moon took it and ran with it and made it so difficult for them to come back that they had all but won, even as the overtime bells were ringing.
They just went for it. They saw it and off they went. And honestly, if they got the KO, that would have been insane. But even then, it was 3 points. It was close enough. They put their message across, and maybe here they'll start building a momentum of their own as well.
Yeah, for sure. Here we see that clip where they almost get it, but as team members responded, as Cronus was able to go behind them and just be able to pick it off, they may have thought they had a little bit of hope, but when you get in a situation like that, it takes a miracle to get back out. But miracles do sometimes happen. We are moving to Claim Blitz Mako Mart next, which is a mode that is very much different from Rainmaker, but it's really becoming a fan favorite mode as of late, I feel. And it's just the matches that we see will be so much different than the ones that I think we've seen before.
Yeah, but Clan Blitz is really a mode to test your team coordination, to test your teamwork. A wrong move and suddenly you could be down 40 points for all we know. I love how it just tests the team. It's amazing to see. Probably one of my favorite modes compared to... I used to hate this mode, and honestly, it's turned around, especially in this game. In this game, it feels incredibly clean to play, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Whereas Rainmaker is really built on your ability to seize the tiniest little openings and just push it to the furthest of your ability, we have Clan Blitz here, which is the exact opposite of that. You need to be able to push in. You need to be able to push in hard and far, unlike Splat Zones. But you also need to be able to hold it sustainably for a long time in order to get those good, substantial pushes that you need to make any serious dents in the lead.
For sure, and then you have the penalties on top of that. The penalties in Clan Blitz always feel more detrimental than any of the other ones. Maybe Zone's gonna be a contest for that, but it just everything about this mode feels great.
The other ones don't have penalties really. The penalty is being sent back to mid.
That is true. It happens. I mean, it happens, but it's just this is just an adrenaline feeling mode. From what I've played so far.
The coordination it takes, the amount of aggression it takes, but you still need sustainability, so yeah, it's really the best of all the worlds, and the maps are pretty well designed for it in general. It's very difficult to have, well, I wouldn't say that, we are still playing Splatoon 3 after all. Like we said, moving into it, we are going to see the Tri-Slosher come out because the Tri-Slosher, it's just the ruler of Mako Mart stacks. The geometry works out perfect for it. While Alliance Moon seems to be running a little bit more long range here with the sword, with that ballpoint, and so we're gonna see how this goes.
Sure, we do see Cronus here with the 10 already making way using their shield as a sort of pushing point for their team, as Forgotten is already quickly tossing strikes out and trying to force this space to be their color and force Alliance Moon out of their own space. And that's it, we're not even 30 seconds in, building clan economy, forcing fight, and wow! They did not hesitate right at the 30-second mark. We see them break open the basket, and Alliance Moon of course isn't gonna try to go down without a fight, as we do see them trying to pincer Cloud here and do take this and force Forgotten to go 3 down. Honestly, that was an insane opener.
But Cronus is still there. Well, was still there. Commentators curse. And was holding. But yeah, what an insane first opening. Within the first minute, they've already made a very, very large dent. That's going to be very hard to come back from. 50 points on the board with 4 minutes still remaining in the game.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we are back here in this little bit of a center fight with numbers being even, but we do see some strikes coming out and hopefully use this to force the space once more. Honestly, it seems like Mako Mart might just be their bread and butter, the way they're moving across this map, the way they're just positioning themselves. They already have this clan ready to go and they might just be ready to push this in soon.
Splatoon is a lot about seeing advantages and taking them, and that is what Forgotten is excelling in here. They see any small crack in the defenses of Alliance Moon, and they make it. They just, crack it even further open and force themselves in and take it to the extreme. They weren't quite able to make another push here, and Alliance Moon is definitely going to capitalize on that. Already getting a pick on the Tri-Slosher, freshly coolered up, and going behind, doing a little bit of distracting, trying to make their way so they can take the stack, but the Zuka does take them out, and they are 2 down. It looks like their push may be a little bit dead in the water.
Yeah, and again, we're always back here in the middle, but over here we do see Alliance Moon getting that 1 pick on the 10, which is actually rather crucial considering the amount of space that we're making within the other games. But wow, here we do see an amazing, nice double pick here, as Forgotten once again not wasting any time, and they're already ready to be under this basket. Honestly, they're really forcing Alliance Moon to just defend over and over again. And, they're not really giving them a second to breathe. As you said earlier, they really are taking advantage of those split-second decisions and just going for it. Screw it, we ball, and they go for it.
And sometimes the best defense is a good offense. Pushing them further and further so they don't have the time to react is a good strategy, but not one that is going to work forever, as Alliance Moon does find the cracks in their defense and is moving in, approaching that lead ever so fastly, and that is a super clam jump. That is going to be the lead swapping, and we have 2 minutes left in this game for Forgotten to potentially take it back, as the basket is still open, as Lockslock is still in here, does jump out. That looks like the push is finally over, but that was a great one for the books, certainly.
It came as fast as it left, and honestly, they did a really good job of using that short window of time they had and just force that lead here. And honestly, 100 to 45, that is pretty good. They were not shy to turn the tide, but we do see a little bit of a fight here on the left, but Cloud does come out victorious using that nice range of the wiper. And again, we see these strikes. These strikes are like a calling horn, just forcing another push to come right after they happen.
Yeah, Cronus is going to be here trying desperately to force a lead swap, but not going to be able to quite make it. Just a little bit desperate there. Unfortunately, in that scenario, what else are you going to do? But Forgotten, once again, very explosive push there. They were in mid, and then they saw an opportunity like that, like a snap, they were back in there. But they do need the sustain of a good long push to be able to break through the rest of that penalty and really finally take the lead and maybe push it a little bit further just for security. Cloud is going to be able to take one player out with that hammer, take two players out with that hammer as they just go further and buy their team a lot of room as they immediately take right stack, following the natural progression of this map, and are going to go in, get a power claim, and that is the lead even, but they do have to get one more, and there is a lead. There is your lead. They're going to keep on scoring here. They are 2 down to this point, but the tentative Umbrella is still there. It looks like everyone is finally wiped out, but Alliance Moon looks ready to pounce to take that back pretty much immediately.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, it's incredible to see just how fast this game turns around in 2 seconds. Look, see, we already see a clam being thrown here at the basket. Alliance Moon might just be trying to push for this lead here with 16 minutes left on the clock using their specials. But unfortunately, it looks like they're out of clams here. Just going to take one more to push this lead. And there they go. They are just shoving those clams in there while they can. And they're 11 points off. Whether they're going to try to knock this out here or not, it's going to be really tough. But I don't think Forgotten is going to let that happen so quick as they are pushing overtime and going straight for the middle control. We do see some fizzies being tossed as the numbers are even and only one special out. Oh, here we do. We do see these strikes coming out. Here's our calling horn. So really, it can go any way. But there comes that clam. And they're really going to try to just get this through. Oh, we are close. We are 9 points away, but it is in. No. There they go. The power clam coming in and just knocking this out by the end of it. Incredible.
That 20-second overtime. When overtime starts, you have 20 seconds to make it from all the way from your basket to the enemy basket in a lot of circumstances. They were basically wiped out when they made that push. Forgotten had the ability to take that map pretty much in Alliance Moon's control. They took it, they painted it, they got the specials, they got the clams, and they won at the last second here. I believe this entire replay that we were just about to watch is the entirety of that overtime. It was so fast. It was a blink and you miss it push. That is seeming to be what Forgotten is best at here. Cooler going out, allowing them to go in a little bit faster, take a little bit riskier fights. And going in and the tank gets picked off. It looks like all hope is lost. There's only the Cloud over there who does get picked off. And then the Splash player able to go in, able to get the double and make a power claim at the very last second and toss it in to snatch a very, very sneaky lead that did win Forgotten their third game.
Honestly, it just baffles me. It's like overtime, I feel is like just all you're playing subconsciously at that point. Everything you learn comes into play and everyone's just like, all right, we gotta go now. And honestly, seeing the clean 20 points and just a power claim to finish it off couldn't have been a more satisfying ending to that game.
Yeah. That was such a game. It was back and forth, lightning push after lightning push, and then that absolute banger of an ending. I don't know how it's going to be very difficult to top that. I'm going to keep it real, but it's certainly possible here. Ship-shaped zones is actually one I've never really watched before. I've played it a few times, never actually seen how it goes from the overhead, so that's kind of exciting for me.
Be very interesting. Honestly, it is one of the newer maps. So compared to some of the other maps we've seen, like Mako here, those are maps that teams probably have been rehearsing probably since the last game up to even. And here we have Ship Shape on the other hand that just came out like a month ago now, for seasons, like all that, you know. So I'm kind of interested to see how they're gonna play this, especially since it's just a more recent map in general.
Yeah. It's one where we've already been seeing Forgotten and Alliance Moon run the Splash a few times. This is one where all the times I've seen it, the enemy has run Splash, specifically Vanilla Splash for that crab, because it's zones, and crab is very good on zones, but it's also a map where if you have a crab up there on those little perches, it can see all of the entry points pretty much. There are a few tiny little flanks, but it can be pretty dang dominant here while not sacrificing any mobility, any ability to snap back from a bad push or a push gone wrong. It's certainly a great choice here, and while I'm glad we're not seeing 3 of them run anymore, it's a valid choice.
The thing you could say for crab is the same you can say about your backlines. If you can get them up there, it's like an all-time. Well, sort of an all-time crab up top. They can see everything. And considering that both teams are running backlines, it is possible we might see them again and attempt to, risk that and take that center. Well, the top center,
Fighting on this map is just really fun, though. There's a good amount of cover. It's open, but it's varied, and it's not awkward like Humpback can be sometimes, where the geometry just kind of gets in the way. It's a good one, and I'm definitely excited to see it in map lists. Some people, like as soon as these maps came out, we were like, oh my god, there's flanks, but they're starting to fall off a little bit, but they're still definitely solid maps that have earned their spot on these map lists.
And we do actually see the backlanes coming right out as we were talking. We do see the edit and the tri-stringer. Edit's going to be an interesting choice here, along with double Brella happening, one on each side. 10, don't fix it if it broke. We see it coming out, but we do see a bit of a comp change here from Alliance Moon, which is very interesting to see.
Yeah, big heavy edit appreciation from my part. Big Dooley's appreciator as well with the crab, with the ability. It's just a more interesting splash. It looks like Alliance Moon here is taking a really nice advantage here. Forgotten may have had the zone, but Alliance Moon now has the numbers advantage that they can use to get an even further lead here, as long as they don't get collapsed on and picked off. The Zuka is going to come out, gonna get a pick, and that's basically Goldie alone here, gonna be forced to retreat and hold their own. They are gonna be able to get a pick here, but it looks like Forgotten is able to buy themselves a few more points while that happens.
I'm feeling this might just be another back and forth, and considering the amount of times we've already seen the zone flip, I feel like if a team can get a really good push, and they might just be able to hold the zone. But yeah, we do see an amazing nice arc from the tri-stringer and taking out one of the members of Alliance Moon, as they are going to try to fight for zone once more. Again, we're seeing a lot of back and forth, but once again, it does flip into Forgotten's favor here.
Yeah. And we see Forgotten once again really readily approaching that the end of their penalty here, but Alliance Moon takes that right back from them as they do regain the numbers advantage, and this looks like it could be a very good long push. They are all coolered up. The Zuka is coming out. They do have their crab ready as well to try to counter anything that Forgotten has to throw at them, but unfortunately for them, what they have to throw at them is Zuka shots, which do end up taking out one of their members, and just a big bloodbath here is happening on zone, but Alliance Moon was able to buy themselves plenty of points.
This is the zone battle of all time we're seeing here, but Alliance Moon is going to just continue to hold that as they push through and attempt to pick off members of Forgotten, but we do see one each. Numbers continue to be even as we see Shark here try to take a fight with Chronos coming out alive, and just, we are seeing red, but unfortunately go down here, as I think Forgotten is going to go ahead and try to cap the zone and might just take it here as we see here.
Yeah, we do see the Inkjet ready from that Zorilla, which we may see popped any moment now, because they do really need to start getting the zone back. The penalty is starting to take away. They are going to try to force it here as they just kind of collapse here, but the fights we've been seeing so far have been super interesting. It's not really easy to tell which side is which, because everyone's back and forth on each other's sides, getting in each other's business, and it's just a huge bloodbath.
I can't imagine this from the player perspective, just back and forth, constant adrenaline. You don't know what's going to happen. It's very entertaining, not only from a commentator perspective, but I feel from also a player perspective on top of that. This looks like fun, if you ask me.
Yeah, just constant back and forth, like we've been saying. The tri-stringer and the crab are kind of having a bit of a face-off here. Who can hit the most arc shots? It looks like they are going to end up backing off here. And Forgotten did get the lead in that time period, and Alliance Moon is currently 2 down. Wings is set up in the perfect spot to hold and just keep shooting out shots, keeping up the pressure with the AoE. 20 points left, 10 seconds left in this game, and Alliance Moon is still 2 down. Forgotten is still taking away. The chumps are going out, the cooler is up, the heat is on, and Alliance Moon just does not have enough time to get back to the zone, leading Forgotten to push their lead even further into 4-1 territory.
They saw the opportunity to take all that space. They did. Forgotten is just once they're out there, they are out there. They go with such a force, and we did see it here as the clock just kept ticking. I believe it was around 40 to 50 points where they just went, "All right, let's go," and just took the whole game there.
And they won themselves a little fist bump as a reward, as a treat.
A treat.
Yeah, this was a very interesting match. It just felt like as soon as you could notice that one team had an advantage, the other one just kind of snuck it out from under them. Once again, like I said, I struggle to remember who started this again. Are these guys behind? Are they in their own territory? What is going on here? Of course, I believe we had 3 Zukas on the field. No, just 2. But coming out constantly because the amount of pressure, the amount of space, the picks that he can very consistently get for you is just super really good in professional terms.
Call this too many Trizukas all over again with the amount of Zukas we did see today.
Yeah, for real, especially on Humpback, because that was one of the maps that it was on, and it was miserable.
It's insane. Zuka's just an incredibly strong, but we do see Manta Maria coming out here. Tower Manta Maria is a very interesting one. Manta Maria is a little bit tight. I feel like we are going to see the tents again clearing the streets for Mantas, considering how small they are, but also I'm excited to see strikes again. So it can really be anything here.
Yeah, and Manta Maria is one of those stages where no matter how good your lead is, the enemy can just kind of snatch it back out from you. And considering how close these games have been, we've even seen, Lion's Moon take a game. We know it's possible for them. I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to take it back here.
Anything can happen. Well, this wouldn't be quite a reverse sweep, but wins are still possible. I mean, it goes up to game 9.
It's a reverse sweep in spirit.
If there's a will, there's a way. A game 9 is absolutely possible. It's just a matter here of Alliance Moon pushing pushing themselves past it and just making that push to take Forgotten out.
Yeah. Tower Control still my least favorite map mode. It's just not map mode in general, but it's still gonna be really entertaining here. Pushing through the street in the ways that teams kind of are forced to be creative with it. It's kind of fun to watch, I will admit.
It's a little more fun to watch than to play. This map is I have my opinions about this map, but I think
that's why you said it was interesting.
It's still, these teams, they just butt heads right in the middle, and it really is just a matter of they're so even until one of the teams is just like, all right, we're done, and just goes for it.
Do we have any speculations on what these teams are going to run over here right now? Are we going to see the return of the 10, or is Cronus going to have to play Sword? We'll see in just a short second, I guess.
Calling 10. I'm calling 10.
No.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, you were wrong. We're returning to double sword, bow, plus I believe a vanilla spot, or that's a Neo splash here. While Alliance Moon saw how close they got last game and are sticking with that heavy edit for the coolers, for the ability it can support that blaster. It's really fun to run with blasters, and the machine and the shot is also going to be able to combo with that fairly well. We do see them already have the Uzuka ready, which I can imagine we will see pretty soon here as they are trying to fight for mid, trying to fight to gain space, and Forgotten goes down first with that sword taking an L pretty early on here, which can be pretty crucial as Alliance Moon is starting to take mid up pretty handily. They get another pick onto the Wiper, and that is going to kind of snowball them into an ability. They have their cooler out. They are going to be able to start pushing into the bunker, and then the street in turn, and this is where things start to get a little bit hairy.
Despite the fact that Forgotten was able to get the first specials on the field, Alliance Moon kind of, took their time here and just tried to get a little bit more of a thorough push. However, Forgotten here is going to put a little bit of a stop to that, taking 2 of their members out. And in Cloud, we do see Cloud here attempting to retake their bunker and just retake that little bit of space that they can have, and, utilizing all that range, as we do see the calling horn of strikes and a hammer straight into the street here, but unfortunately is going to be shut down here by Alliance Moon as the tower returns back to its center.
Forgotten was all but wiped out there. I mean, if you do go 3 down, you do want your bow to be the one to be alive, as they can probably hold it the best, but how long can they hold with a Zuka in their face? Unfortunately, they do go down as well, and Alliance Moon is painting up mid, making it nice and green, and paving their way for yet another push here. They have the specials for it, they have the numbers, and they are starting to be able to have the turf here. With the Jet coming out, they were going to push Forgotten further back into their street, getting a pick on the left side, really trying to pressure on the right side. That's 3 down. It's only the Neo Splash, who does have their strikes already left alive, but I'd imagine that they kind of want to back out as much as they can here to prioritize their life, as they do have that crucial game-winning special.
Again, they want to keep that calling horn, but here we do see them actually come out here, and they're going to attempt to retake their streak, but we do see Ace here with the blaster just trying to utilize that space. Wow, that was a really quick jump that we just saw. But Forgotten here just trying to, take their streak back and just trying to force Alliance Moon back. But unfortunately, they do go 2 down, and I think Alliance Moon is going to quickly take this opportunity to take their streak and barely grabbing the tower here and try to just, force Forgotten back. But they do step a little bit back and try to just take them off the window and just force them to face them up front.
And this is a very difficult scenario to be in because Alliance Moon is not burnt out yet. They still have their specials. They're still getting the picks. Shark over here is in the perfect spot for them because Forgotten, that pretty advantageous spot that they can approach from is just being completely sharked, no pun intended, by by that machine over there who is just going to be able to basically completely deny it. Somehow Cloud has gotten their way up there, but it looks like they're going to be, chased out yet again by the rest of Alliance Moon's forces. The heavy edit does go down. They just keep on staggering picks here, but they've made it past that checkpoint, and with 3 down, they are able to take even more aggressive positioning and just are moving in further and further, and this is really looking rough for God.
They are pushing Forgotten past their breaking point as they do push the tower up to 14 here. They got the wipeout, they saw the opportunity, and off they went. This is the teams, they're just like, they see the opportunity to make a big push, and a big push will happen. But we do see Forgotten here trying to just recover as we see Stringers taking space. We do see a Zipcaster coming out and unfortunately getting punished here in mid. But, it's also fast, it just happens, and, they don't waste any time.
In a scenario like this, it's really hard to regain your composure if you are Forgotten here. You've been downtrodden this entire game. You've been staggered. You've been really pushed back. You have not had the chance to push even past 99 here, and here the enemy is all the way at 14, and you haven't even had a break this entire game. But it is paramount. They do need to remember to play with each other as a team, to push together, to not take 1v1 fights like in general. They do make a gambit to try and take some more space, so they end up going 3 down, and Cronus here is trapped in the Zipcaster, probably gonna have a pretty unlucky recall here right into the lap of the enemy, as they do immediately get taken down with only a little bit of distraction to show for it. 20 seconds left on the map, and Forgotten still has to push all the way into mid, let alone beyond that, to be able to take this game.
It is mentally, it is also, as you mentioned, it is really hard to move that 10 seconds. I would feel desperate in this situation, but it looks like Forgotten is, still going at it, and, they're still not going to go down without a fight, as we do see a little bit of bunker action here coming up. But it seems like no one's quite looking here on the left side, as Alliance Moon is able to just get a nice pick here, and we do see Ace trying to push through, as they actually do, as 3 just come in, take advantage of that space on left, and just take the tower right back from the nose of Forgotten.
Welcome back to Too Many Trizukas, the tournament. As we saw there at the very end, that is what won them the game. The Trizukas from different angles just made it completely unsafe for them to be on the tower, so anyone who dared touch it, as long as they needed to be to maintain over time, to maintain that singular chance at getting lead back, was taken out there, and that did allow Alliance Moon to take their second game of the set, paving their way more towards a potential comeback here.
Anything is possible. This is Splatoon we're talking about. If there's a will, there's a way. We're gonna say that again today. Honestly, they've done it once, they've done it twice, and they could possibly do it a third time. We've seen they have the strength to do so. So I don't think they're gonna give up quite yet.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you see that, like, if you're playing a giant like Forgotten and you see that they have weaknesses, it becomes even more easy to spot the further cracks in their offenses, the further cracks in their defenses that you need to be able to take them on head on. And, if there's a map that we're going to see some more really interesting takeaway victories, it's going to be on Rainmaker Hagglefish. What a stage.
Sure, this game is very big on it's whichever team, especially when you're playing a long set up to game 9, it's really up to the teams who's going to adapt more and figure out those weaknesses of the teams faster and how they're going to exploit it faster is usually going to be a good deciding factor of which team is going to win. And we do see Alliance Moon, they really use that here in Manta Maria, and we saw that large push they forced there. And I believe they might just be getting a little bit more momentum here on top of that.
Yeah. But back to Rainmaker Hagglefish, this is a very interesting stage, as if you can get a lead all the way to 30 in less than 45 seconds if you're lucky. So who will win here? The more patient Alliance Moon or the explosive Forgotten? Will defense pay off, or is just pushing forward over and over the way? We shall see here, for sure. Just an interesting one. I know that the reactions to this one being on the Ludi map list were mixed, to say the least, but I think it's a fun one to watch. Maybe not so much to play, but it's the drama that happens on it is really fun.
The Cheesemas we're here for. As long as it's entertaining, you know, you can look back on the replays and be like, wow, that was a cool moment. And it's all that matters. Also, as long as the teams are having fun. That's a big portion of this. Honestly, I'm low-key on the side of we might see a lightning pushes until one team, you know, probably knocks it out. I'm putting predictions out there. So one team can probably push that all the way to a knockout. So I kind of want to see what they do here. I'm thinking of Clan Blitz all over again.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Peace and love on planet Earth, etc., etc. You know, more important than this, beyond this game, if Alliance Moon wins, are we thinking, are we hoping, are we praying for a Game 9? Is that something that we have in the cards for ourselves tonight? Because I certainly would not be surprised.
I think it could be in the cards. It seems like they could build especially from a game like that, they're building up momentum. I can see this kind of going up to a Game 9. I think it's possible. They've shown, like I said earlier, they've shown they can do it. And I think now more than anything, they're going to take the energy they have now and try to just push for that Game 9. You know, almost reverse sweep possibility.
We can also talk about the sheer amount of nerves that Forgotten must be feeling right now. When you might think, okay, this is you never want to take it too easy. You never want to underestimate your opponent, but when you are up 4-1, it can be pretty easy to kind of be like, okay, we got this. And if your confidence gets shaken like it was on that Manta Maria map, it can be really hard to regain composure there. But we do see the return of the ballpoint. We see the return of the king, the one, the only Tentabrilla. And so that, I think, it could certainly turn the cards for them. But Heavy Edit has been working really, really well for Alliance Moon, and as well as the return of their own Brilla.
Spotting is going to be a really nice counter for the tent here, as they're going to be able to shred that tent if it comes down to it a lot more easily, as we do see both teams, you know, picking their flanks, picking their fights here in center. But we do see 3 specials from Alliance Moon. They might just use this any second now to try to enforce the tides, but over here we do see Forgotten having most of the turf in middle, as bloodshed's happening here, as we see 2 down here on Forgotten. Alliance Moon definitely putting that momentum to use and, you know, taking out members here at Forgotten. And here we do see they might just push for the checkpoint here, as they do have Rainmaker in their possession. You know, they're going full speed ahead.
Looks like they see a breakaway to the left point, and they are going to be able to snag that checkpoint right out from under Forgotten's noses. Forgotten, who inked too close to the sun and were really hard punished for it. It's not too easy to get that checkpoint back, but once they do open themselves up to that point, that nice 30-point lead that's so easy to get here. First, they have to clear things out. First, they have to be able to get the paint up in mid that they need, get the specials, be able to use them wisely, get that pop, and move on forward. But that is no easy feat when you're fighting against somebody who's so defensively strong as Alliance Moon.
They use their space just strategically, and just, you know, here we do see them playing a little bit more of a patience game and trying to meet Forgotten in their own space rather than pushing into their own. They are playing a little bit more patiently, as we do see, and we see a little bit of tank and Izuka. I lost the name for a second. And Zuka Gaming, as numbers unfortunately are going down here on Alliance Moon. And here's Forgotten's opportunity to now hit the checkpoint possibly, and try to open up the opportunity of more points.
Wings ducking that Rainmaker, buying themselves that same checkpoint, and all they have to do now is push just slightly in front of it to be able to do this, and the splash over here, or the zap, sorry, is going to be able to come behind and take out a few players, and they don't even need the jump. They have left side on their side, and so they're able to push all the way to 29, which is a very, very notable a notable push here, but Alliance Moon is going to be ready to go. They're getting the paint that they need. They're getting a few picks here, especially on that 10. That's a pretty important one. And if you look up at the top bar, folks, we have 3 specials ready, and the cooler is going to be not far behind. And so they are paving their way to a great push. However, they have to not get picked off first.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately for Forgotten, when they did push that checkpoint, they lost most of their members and a good chunk of their special gauge to go with it compared to Alliance Moon, who was probably already closer to that to begin with. So they're already pretty much a closer set for defense and possibly offense when the members of Forgotten come back. However, my words are being thrown from the side. Actually, no, they were cooler, so their specials are still coming up. But Forgotten is not going to be any shy of putting more pressure here as the Jet is contesting the Rainmaker here. Unfortunately going down, I think, by Azuka here as bloodshed continues on the field once more. And, Alliance Moon still coming out and having most of the space as they... Whoa, we're going past the Rainmaker here. Oh, it's defense. As Alliance Moon is going back and taking their base and meeting... Forgotten probably back in base here.
Happens to the best of us. We see Dipple Zuka action once again. Welcome back to Too Many Try-Zukas, the tournament. And so that does end up paving the way to a big bloodbath in mid. It's only the heavy edit left alive who is going to throw the cooler pretty selflessly back towards their teammates, and so they can just focus on defending as best they can. After all, they have to get out of defense before they can think of pushing on their own. That is the first step, but one that is really, really hard when you have a team that just refuses to relent like Forgotten.
And we do see a nice jump out here, but again, Forgotten now having most of the space back, and mostly it's no specials on the field minus the Sorella Umbrella with their Jet. Of course, Jet is still a very strong special, especially after it's a nerf, and it can definitely help either push people out or push people right back in as more specials coming out. Jet and Zuka is a very powerful duo, but we do see Jet on both sides actually. So each team is going to use their specials as needed. But whoa, here Forgotten actually took out the 2 players that had the specials that were going to be necessary to hold this. And, they're going to try to force some more pressure and probably put more points on that lead they have. They're going to use this opportunity and push it to its max here.
And they're going to get all the way to 15 points. And Alliance Moon is still 3 down. Things are looking very dire. It's up to the machine. The machine with a dream who does go down, but is able to stop that Rainmaker push here. It's only the 10 who is going to get flushed out. And 12 seconds left on the clock. And the penalty, or, overtime is going to be applied here. Looks like 10 is going to be taken out. But that's still a lot of time, not wasted, but spent on being able to take that out when they only have so many seconds on this Rainmaker left. They don't have the checkpoint to be able to reset the Rainmaker timer, so this is all that they have, and they need to move fast, but they need to be able to move careful. Take their fights wisely, move up. That is the name of the game. It looks like they're trying to, still really caught and making sure that there's nobody on this right side, but they are running out of time. You do see this Rainmaker timer is about halfway off, and the Zukas are going to be starting to pop. These specials are going to be coming out, and the lucky Zuka takes this set 5-2. Forgotten takes the W.
They saw the loss in the last game and were like, okay, we're not doing this again, and just drove it home. They were just putting all the pressure they could on Alliance Moon when they had the opportunity, and it became a very tense situation for Alliance Moon by the end, and they earned that fist bump by the end of this game, especially after taking the set home.
And they get it. Wings fist bumping Zach in a very, very earned display. Forgotten really showing what they're made of, but Alliance Moon holding up very, very strongly against them. Some really close games and some ones that were they really dominated here. Looking forward to see how both of these teams conclude, but we are going to see the last few seconds here. It looks like Alliance Moon just hesitated a lot. There wasn't much they could do here, but they split up. Ace was going up the left. Everyone was kind of in a situation like this, communication can sometimes fly out the window as just desperation and adrenaline set in.
Unfortunately. And then Zuka, on top of that, we were in too many trade Zukas once more.
Yeah. But that is going to be it for this set, like I said. Once again, like I also said, looking very forward to how both of these teams do in the rest of their matches as we move on further and further through the weeks. But that is going to be it from us. Fufu, where can we find you?
Find me at SplatFufu on Twitter. We're here for a good time, not a long time. How about you, Weef?
You can find me at Weefsletter on Twitter, or more recently, Weef at Weef on Blue Sky. The superior app apparently now is what we're thinking. And Falco, it's back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Fufu and Weef. What a fun set between these two teams. There was a lot of great plays, especially by Parias in that Clam Blitz match, getting that power claim in to get the lead, which helped them get that 5-2 victory. Very impressive. But hey, we still have one more set coming up tonight. That is going to be Gravity versus Shine. It is going to start momentarily here. We are going to bring Saf and Toma here and get ourselves situated. So we're going to take a little bit of a break, but don't go anywhere, guys. You are watching Ludi Tonight on Splatoon Tourney. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ludi Tonight. We are back with our final set. Oh, I gotta change the commentators. I should probably do that real quick.
I weave. I get to be weave.
You get to be
I'm
weave.
Fufu.
You get to be foof. I'm jealous, guys.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I didn't even change any of these overlays, so I'm gonna do that real quick. But hi Toma, hi Saf. How are you both today?
Doing
Well, you know-
fantastic.
When I found out that I got to be weave, it just got better. I tried for Falco Flyer. I typed that one in on the vending machine, and it was sold out.
Sold out.
So when I reached my hand in there, I actually got weave slider instead.
Oh, I think both are pretty solid options, but hey, we finally have the correct things up here on stream. We've got Gravity, we've got Shine. We saw amazing Div 4 matches earlier today, amazing Div 5 matches happening earlier as well. This is going to hopefully be another amazing match, and based on these rosters, Toma, I think it's going to be pretty fun.
No, yeah, I'm really excited. A lot of notable players here. And a fun thing, actually, Sheer Cold, my own team on Ludi Tonight, earlier this week, commentated by Skep from Gravity, and now you have me commentating Skep's set here tonight, and I can't be more excited to see the face-off we're going to be having between these two teams. Saf starting off, of course, on Brine Water Zones, and we're wasting no time. We're going to be seeing what they get into right now.
I mean, they've been chomping at the bit, Toma. They've been ready for this since probably the beginning of the day. And I gotta mention, I love seeing Skep come out with the Bloblabler. That is their tried and true passion of a weapon. So I love seeing that just right out the gate for Skep. But for the side of Shine, you have a Stamper. So there's a lot of surface area to be using that Zipcaster on. So you gotta be careful if you're gonna be the backline trying to get posted up here. And of course, you also have a Trizuka per side. But one of them with the Squeezer. Toma, I'm definitely seeing Squeezer be utilized a lot more, kind of giving some echoes back to Splatoon 2.
Yeah, well, kind of funny story there. I've been picking up Squeezer for my own team. When the meta calls for it, you got to do what you got to do. But right now, you can see that Shine has a good hold on the zone there, but just as I say that, a bit of a commentator's curse. We're going to see Gravity go ahead, rush that, get the full wipe out, and now they're going to be setting up to move up here into the base of Shine. You see they got those trip strikes coming out beautifully. You've got members of them rushing up here. The Squeezer trying to get a lot of pressure going in there. Corian getting a pick, trading themselves. Peachy and Skep now there just putting a lot of pressure. Skep Launch and Blobs and Peachy kind of moving here on the side with it as well. Just got that Cooler online, lots of movement. The Cooler online for Shine as well, moving in. Peachy finds another pick. Gravity's holding strong right now in this zone staff.
Yeah, Gravity has a really, really good foothold on the zone. Shine having some difficulty getting out. It seems like they get their specials online, and then they don't really get to get them to fruition. But with the ball point going down, having that Cooler online was crucial, as the Inkjet will still be online for Shine. But only 10 seconds left to try to flip this zone, Toma, and the ball point goes down. So there you have it. Gravity coming out strong in this game one.
Yes, absolutely huge, and something, I wonder if we'll see it here on this quick replay that we'll be witnessing, but I love to see, kind of, if you've noticed it, Skep on that Bloblobber, staying in mid where they could protect the zone, but at the same time, they were able to launch those blobs up that ramp. They shoot them up, they'll continue to bounce up, and then they were there for, members like Peachy on their team to fight with. If a blob hit them, they were able to take advantage of that crossfire, and I think this is kind of where you see similar stuff happening here. Yes, Skep right there, poking straight up there, allows their team to kind of combo off them, especially as they have those trip strikes and that rain out to just wear Shine's offense down as they try to come back in. Busy here was trying to get something going there in the zone, but not quite able to find thing, and as they recalled, Peachy picked them off, and again you just see Skep kind of return to that position where they can poke up, and Peachy going up there to capitalize off that space that Skep was making with them.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the Zipcaster 2, I feel, Gravity just kind of ignored what they were trying to do. You could see that they were not only going in for picks to try to take them out, but at the same time, they were also trying to be like, hey, look at me, stop looking at the zone, while the rest of Shine was trying to come in with the cavalry, but I mean, Gravity didn't really let that affect them at all. I mean, they were aware of it. You could tell they were aware of it. The call out was made, but were they even, worried about it?
No, it didn't
Not really
look like it. You gotta, and that's part of, moving up and getting more and more game sense, you've got to know, like, hey, is this player really going to be something that we need to dedicate our full attention to, or is this something that's kind of there to distract us? And especially with the Zipcaster the way it is, you know, sometimes that armor can be pretty inconsistent. It's not really the kind of special you see go for hero plays a lot. It's going to be kind of that distraction. It's going to pull attention away so that, you know, your other team members, while you're looking at that Zipcaster, can come in and splat them. But going in now on tower control, Ink Block Art Academy, we're going to be seeing what the teams bring out. We see more Bloblobber coming out. I love to see it this time. That Deco with that Kraken, and then we see kind of more on the same, or more of the same coming out. I do believe that Peachy has switched over to that machine, though, on the side of Gravity, and on the Shine we see that Squeezer once again. We see Ballpoint, and now we see these dualies going in, finding a nice 2 down initially on Gravity. Going to be pushing this tower from behind, doesn't quite find that pick onto the tower, but they are going to fight Rush there, gets a pick. Skep left alone as the sole member of Gravity left alive, but now they're up here in this spot in Shine's bats where they need to get out, and they are going to find the pick onto Skep.
Yeah, and it looked like Skep was trying to also play the distractionary factor as well, right? They were taking the attention of that Ballpoint kind of away from what was happening on the middle ground. But Gravity once again finding themselves in a 2 down scenario here, having some trouble trying to break in. Rush throwing out that Tacticooler, hopefully to give their teammates a little bit of boost. And then it looks like Shine isn't quite ready to push themselves forward up to the bats area quite yet here. But you can see Jin going and taking that early fight into mid. They don't want that back flank coming around Toma, especially because now all of the Gravity members are in front of this tower. So Shine has a really decent vantage point here to keep moving this tower forward, and especially with having that crab tank come out as well. Lots of coverage and a lot of, I guess, forward looking and eyes being up on that bats area to see who is coming down to respawn. But now finding the tower kind of in a skirmishy area here as the members of Gravity are still holding strong to their defensive stance and looking for these picks to try to get back out into mid.
Yeah, Jin did give that nice Tacticooler bonus to their team, but, you know, as they were waiting for their members to respawn, Gravity has found a little bit of a ways back here into mid, and is going to be capitalizing off that. Skep getting a nice pick there with that Kraken, and now the tower is moving to checkpoint 1 for Shine, but you got to pay attention behind you. The Squeezer player, they're going to find an excellent pick on the tower, going to be delaying Gravity's push just a little bit longer, but checkpoint 1 is going to fall. This Ballpoint does have an Inkjet online, though, to continue to try to stall out Gravity's push here at kind of the checkpoint 2 area, as Skep is forced to return back to that tower under heavy fire, but is going to go down. Luma there now on a great spot, ready to just kind of take advantage over here on this right stack area. The crowd coming out as well, finds a nice pick onto Peachy, but then goes down very shortly afterwards as well.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying the Squeezer Ballpoint combo we got coming out from Shine. I mean, it's so much range on their side, and especially to combat the little range that Gravity has. I mean, Skep having these blobs, they do tend to go a long way and also ricochet and bounce off of different surfaces to cause some chaos. But I just think having this Ballpoint and this Squeezer working together, not only with these walls, but the amount of range they have is going to make it really difficult for Gravity to find their footing and to find where they can try to flank and get the higher ground on Shine. But still, Shine pushing this tower continuously over and over again to the side of Gravity, and you can see Gravity still trying to make their way back out into mid. Skep able to break out here, looking to try to take in the 1v1 with the Ballpoint, but now getting a follow-up from Rush. That's excellent. Finding the timing too. You could probably tell that Skep was making that call out that they needed help, and it was nice that Rush was able to go and follow up. The Kraken is going to come out, and now finally Gravity is going to be trying to push past this first checkpoint area. They're looking to try to take away this second checkpoint, Toma.
Yeah, and they're going to be going forward, and they don't find the pick onto Skep. Skep is going to come around on them. You saw that kind of dance that, you know, Skep had with the members of Shine there for quite a while. Luma now finally being able to drop and get Skep out of there. It's going to be huge for Shine to finally get a foothold back in here. You see that they've got 2 specials online as they begin to approach this second checkpoint. But with the Zuka of Gravities, you know, they took care of that crab tank pretty quickly. Now they have to worry about this Inkjet though now, and they find a great pick onto the Inkjet. They find 2 onto Shine. What an excellent play there from, I believe that was Rush, getting those awesome picks for Gravity's defense.
Yeah, and Rush is doing so good at responding to where the call is needed. And now, too, with Gravity having control of mid, this is where they need to make this final push, Toma. I mean, 25 seconds is actually a lot of time in some instances, but when it comes to these final moments, it's not enough time at all to try to get these points down. But Gravity is going to try to take advantage of it. They are in a 2-down situation. We're down to the 62. They just need to get it a little bit further, but that is going to be the delayed wipe. The last member is going to need to back up, but they cannot. And so only 4 seconds remaining and everybody up on Shine. It looks like Shine is going to take game 2.
Vizzy there, that squeezer player, getting just excellent picks when it mattered the most, Saf. As you saw what a great position Gravity was in there. You know, they had Skep underneath that ledge, throwing all those blobs exactly where you want to stand on defense. You had specials coming out ready to go, but that squeezer was able to just mop it up and tie the set up 1-1 right now.
Yeah, and moving down the line into Humback Pump Track, Toma, I'm wondering what is going to be coming up next there. But in this final moments of Gravity trying to get this push off, you can see Skep launching these bubbles up into the bats area, but it looks like Rush finding themselves not in an ideal situation, and Corian going down on the tower. You could see both the members left of Gravity trying their best to keep their presence alive, but only Skep being the last one finding themselves in a 3-1 scenario. Just less than ideal if you're Gravity in those final moments. So Shine bringing back the defense and also being able to very quickly switch back over to the offense when it mattered.
Absolutely, you know, being able to kind of pivot and play like that and noticing the changes in the game state is so important, especially when you're fighting against, you know, really skilled opponents. You know, both of these teams have, you know, fought their way long and hard through tournaments to be able to claim a spot here in Division 5 this season. You're kind of looking at your, you know, premier low-level teams that are trying their best to be able to break out into mid-level, and Ludi is going to be one of those tournaments that really gives the chance for teams to make a name for themselves and be like, hey, we're the next big thing, you know.
Yeah, like this is exactly where I want to be and where I want to showcase my skills. So yeah, these initial games too, but you know, you have to keep a level head even at the beginning, right? Because you know, there's a lot of energy, a lot of momentum going into this first week of Ludi, but I mean, there's still so much time left in the season as well to really step up where it counts. So as long as people are, you know, not only feeling themselves, but just remembering that we're still at the beginning, you know, brush off the small stuff, don't sweat the small stuff, and just keep pushing forward. And Toma, this set is at 1-1. It is still anybody's game, and especially from what we've seen so far from both teams, right? Remember what I said about gathering information. The information has been gathered, and I mean, Shine coming back strong, taking game number 2 just shows exactly that. But right now, you can see there's a skirmish kind of going down in this middle section here. All members of Shine pushing it forward to try to take any ground that they can on this middle section, but Gravity having such a strong presence and finding themselves with a 3-down scenario. The man advantage is high in the delayed wipe as well, having some trouble climbing that pedestal a little bit there, but Gravity successfully taking that first check, looking to try to follow it up with a second run here, but it looks like Shine is hot on their tails.
Yeah, absolutely. Finding a great pick, though, there with the Zuka. Vizzy going to be able to stall this push just a little bit longer here. Moving in, sees a jump in mid, going to be able to cancel it there. The Rainmaker is going to reset. Shine now has an opportunity of their own to get this Rainmaker going, but they've got to get the control in their favor, and a Zuka from the side of Gravity is going to make that hard for them. Corian here moving in on the right side with Skep. You've got these bubbles kind of flying around here across all these humps. Some awkward terrain there. Going to actually find a pick there. You've got to be so careful when dealing with these terrain, especially with projectiles like those blobs that are going to bounce around. And this is going to give Gravity the opportunity to take an even further lead down to 31. Put a stop to it with that nice Zuka shot. But The Gravity not ready to give it up yet. They're gonna find a pop. They're gonna have 3 down. Sap, this could be huge for them. Just the Louis left alive. They're gonna be running there to 4 points left. Sap, that is an absolutely huge push for Gravity.
Yeah, but you can see Shine here trying to win the firefight. Jin going in for the Rainmaker, but not quite successful. The jump coming in, and it is spotted out. And now it looks like Shine is feeling comfortable to try to push past the spawn, Toma. They don't want to pick up this Rainmaker and run it into Chaos. They want to let it reset on its own and re-evaluate the situation. You can see Gravity now trying to push back in from this right-hand side, but Shine really keen on what's going to be going on over there. And the vacuum is popped because they don't want Gravity to be picking up this Rainmaker anymore. Shine now with it in possession. They are opting for that left side, but Gravity, especially with having 2 people respawning back into the map, is going to be really keen on that left-hand side and taking it down to the 82.
Yep, they've got to be really careful. Now 2 down, they're being forced back. You can kind of see that, you know, the Crab died in the corner. Azuka caught one of them out in mid. Rainmaker is catching another one now here. They've got the Rain out. They've got the Rainmaker. They're pushing forward ahead of this Rainmaker as well. But you know where they didn't watch? Up there on that top ledge. Vizzy going to be dropping in. Squeezer getting a nice pick to stop Gravity in their tracks. They're going to give Shine another opportunity to make a break for this right-hand Rainmaker, and now it looks like they have the control that they need in front of it to be able to find that dunk, which they are going to be able to get, but they've got to watch out for Corian here on the flank, who's going to take 1 down, 2 down, and now they're going to be here trying to pop for Shine. They're going to be trying to get jumps in. They need to watch that flank again, though. You never know where Gravity's going to come from. They have that back out to protect them for just a little bit longer, but it isn't going to be enough to get them that much further in. At 34 right now, as they're attempting to pop the Rainmaker once again. Most of Gravity kind of staying up there on that top ledge, waiting to drop, you know, don't want to drop into danger. Great call from them there, but look, we have a vac out once again, gonna pop another and lead so close to changing. Stop. If Shine can get the pop here, there's a chance that they may be able to take lead, but you've got Gravity on the respawn, you've got their members there ready to pick it up and drop it back in the mid to save their run here. What an insanely close score right now, Saf.
If I was Gravity, I'd be sweating bullets right now, Toma. That has got to be nerve-wracking. You got to keep your cool, though. There's still a minute left in the game, and if Shine was able to get that close, then Gravity knows that they got to keep it up. They can't falter at any point in these last 42 seconds. The trade going down between the ballpoint and the squeezer. Gravity has really good control in front of their last pedestal area, but with the Crab coming in, that's going to cause some displacement and a lot of inking to be recovered up here, and especially with Shine having control of mid here. They are playing it safe though, Toma. You can tell they're playing it kind of safe. There's 3 points, but that's so much ground to make up when you get within those single-digit markers. So with Shine having the Rainmaker here, you can see Gravity kind of trying to fan out over near this checkpoint. They don't want to go too far forward. They don't want to risk it, but they also don't want to allow any more space for Shine. The Rainmaker going down though in a 1-to-1 situation there, but oh, so very close for Shine. Gravity's got to be feeling the heat from that one.
Oh, absolutely. These games, like that was insanely close, Saf. The back and forth there, and just it was like what, a 3-point difference? What a crazy game. You've got to be feeling that heat. You've got to know, like, hey, yeah, we got that game, but just by the skin of our teeth. These are not runaways by any means whatsoever. Here we see that push come to fruition, just so close. You have that vac out, which is going to allow them to be able to get this pop here, but you know, no protection after that just means that Zook is going to catch them right there, right by the pedestal. What an insanely close push. And then, you know, here it really mattered to who got pop here, and Gravity just coming out on top on this pop probably saved them the game, allowing them to be able to drop it back down into mid and take it off their plat there.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine if Karma had a little bit more time to get a little bit closer and close the gap between them and that Rainmaker, because you got to think, right, if there was just a little bit more time or a couple more frames, they probably could have picked it up and kept it up there, delaying that jump down from Gravity to move it back down into the mid area, you know? So it's like, it really does come down to those little moments, and then when you reflect back on it, you're like, wow. Like, especially from Gravity's standpoint of view, they're very much like, that was way too close for comfort. We need to try to re-collaborate and figure out what we're gonna do in the next one.
Absolutely. And one thing with that too is when you're in a disadvantaged situation, you've got, an objective, especially the Rainmaker staff in your base, you have to be so careful about your movement. You have to be careful where you drop, because if you drop into, a disadvantaged situation where they've got man up or they've got objective in your base, it can go wrong really, really fast, especially in a rain where, you might be hit by that giant explosion of the Rainmaker shield, and you're not going to survive that if you get hit by it. But Gravity was using that coverage of the podium there to save them really, really well. They played around it and they were able to find the pick and get that pop where it mattered most. But no Rainmaker shield to save or kill somebody here. We're getting into Clam Blitz, our favorite, team deathmatch mode staff in these first, opening moments. We're going to be seeing what they both do. Loading out, of course, this is always a bucket map staff, and I see a machine, I see a tri-slosher on both sides, so we're always going to see that fun bucket ledge action around these stacks, as right now an early one down on both sides, as they're just going to, be finding picks until they can get forward and get that clam economy going.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to note, Skep is not on the roster this time. They've instead substituted in a different player, so that Bloblobler is also going to be taken out of the mix here for Gravity. But Gravity has a really strong hold already. Yeah, we're in this skirmishy situation. You have a 2 versus 2 scenario here. Shine finding themselves with a power clam in hand, looking to try to push forward, especially with that juice online. They're okay with risking a couple of plays, maybe a couple of players there. As you can see, the clam was trying to move forward a little bit, maybe take some attention inward there so the ball point can try to pick them off. But Shine now in a delayed wipe scenario. The clam economy, though, not quite on Gravity's side here to try to get a pop going. And it looks like their window for that has closed pretty quickly. But they have such a strong presence in mid at this moment that could change here pretty quickly, Toma.
Yeah, and right now Tim out with this inkjet trying to get this crab to move. Exactly what they're going to be able to do is that Gravity is able to open that basket. Tim going to see if they can add a few clams, but no, is going to die there on that jump. And now Shine is wasting no time here. You see they're already rushing Gravity stack, but they've got to be careful. That is a lot of bombs landing there, staff. Gravity does not want them coming through there so easily. Jin just feeling the pressure from these fizzies, trying to find a way forward. Azuka does blast its way there, but unable to find any members of Gravity to take down. But the first power clam goes. The second power clam finds its connection as well. Shine is going to flip that lead, take the number down even further than 54. They're going to go down to 45, find another pick as well. Tim cleaning up underneath that basket, going to find one more player from Shine, as well as that basket is going to finally close with Shine's opening push there down to 45. Really impressive the way that came together.
Impressive indeed, but Gravity quick on their heels, Toma, as now Tim finding themselves with Inkjet and in possession of the middle area with another power clam online. 2 members of Gravity going down, though, including that Inkjet. The juice has been popped, but just not enough time for Rush to get in there and try to make the follow-up as well, unfortunately. But Corian is going to be there quickly, also unable to get that power clam in there. But with the jump coming in, is it going to be enough? And no, it's not. Just a little bit of a snowbally push going for Gravity, but just not quite finding the connection with that power clam.
Yeah, unfortunate situation there, and I believe that was Gravity's one pity clam down as well, so now they're going to have to find another, clam to build up to be able to make a push, and they're 3 down at this moment. Just Tim alive, going to be backing up here, trying to stay alive, especially as Shine is going to be taking the forward space after, getting 3 down. They've got the Zuka out, unable to quite find a pick, but look there on the side, once again, you've got members of Gravity Gravity coming in. You've now got Tim in a great position
Oh.
trying to get that crab out, but the crab takes them down instead. And now the crab broken down by that Booyah Bomb. Specials trading left and right, Sap, but ultimately no push here, ready to follow up of it as 2 members of Gravity go down. Shine is going to be paying up this area once again before going back to try to take more space in mid.
Yo, if I was Karma, I would have been terrified in those final moments there. I mean, the crab breaking and then them barely escaping through that Booyah Bomb. But look at this screen here. Vizzy finding themselves with a triple pick, some help from that third one. They're calling this way, Toma. They need the clams, they need the follow-up, but nobody's there to give it, unfortunately. So Shine still sitting comfortably with their 45 lead, but they're still feeling good with trying to get in and trying to extend that just a little bit more. And they're able to make contact and breaking that basket open. There is some follow-up from Karma, getting up high and especially using those dualies to try to roll around. But with Gravity being on the response here, that's going to cut that power breakage short at the 43. And there is a power clamp in possession of Gravity. So Gravity wasting no time to try to follow up here, Toma. Immediately, that penalty is obliterated. We're down to the 64. You can see Shine trying to break back in here with 8 more seconds to go to try to delay the Gravity from moving forward with any more power clamps, but they're just not going to have enough time. But over time, oh my goodness. Okay, it didn't initiate even though they had a clam online, but the basket was already popped open. So Shine coming in strong, taking game number 4. Game 5, Toma. Game 5.
Yeah, these teams are just neck and neck, and all that Gravity needed there was the power clam to win. These games are super, super close. Saf, we're seeing the best come out from both of these teams right now as they're kind of ping-ponging wins back and forth and back and forth. And now we're going to be going back into splat zones. This was a game that we saw, once Gravity got set up, that they were able to take this game pretty convincingly last time. But we're going to look here at the last few moments of Clam Blitz before we move on there. You saw that Jen here on the side, able to find that break in. Luma there recalling on their Jet. Karma just getting, a little bit of extra points in there. I believe is going to see Tim poke around here with that spawn armor strong. Not going to go down. And this is where you just see Gravity move so fast towards that basket. Corian is going to be able to find that basket break, but unfortunately, you'll see here very soon, or not very soon, just not the follow-up that Gravity needed in that moment. But now, like I said before, going back into shape cargo zones, one of our new zones maps, not like Brine Water that's been in there for a while, but Splat Zones was a game that Gravity took pretty convincingly last time. I'm interested to see Saf, the strategies that they used last time. They used that blobber to kind of poke up onto that ramp of Brine Water, and then use their teammates to kind of follow up to be able to play off those blobs, worked with the chip, worked with the Inkstorm. Do you think we might see a similar kind of strategy come out here on Ship Shape, especially when you have those 2 high grounds on either side of the zone?
I do. I very much do think the Inkstorm would be in a very good favor here for Gravity, especially if they're using it with that blob wobbler, because especially when you're in the lower areas, there's not a lot of inkable surface. There's not a lot of places where you can kind of jump up and over and get back into your spawning area. There's a lot of walls that don't allow you to paint them. And so you really just have like corners and things to hide from. You don't have any verticality on your side. I mean, obviously when you're kind of above the zone, you have those 2 little pieces, but if the Inkstorm's coming through, you want to find cover or find yourself not in like an enclosed position here. And just as we said, Toma, there it is, the Blob Wibbler once again coming out from Skep, and you have Rush with that NZAP too, so much inking power on Gravity, and they themselves are actually also going to run a Squeezer and Ballpoint composition here. So that Inkjet with that Inkzuka coming online, and a lot of range from Gravity. Opposing to Shine, though, still having that ballpoint, but they do have that crab tank on those vanilla dualies, so they can maintain that aggression while also maintaining that kind of backline-esque mentality using that crab tank.
Yep, right now Vizzy though on this flank, trying to see if they can find Skep. They are able to do so, but Rush able to defend, afterwards and get kind of the trade off for Skep, but now they've got to find zone once again. They've got their cooler out, but there's a crab right here, and the last thing you want to do is just walk straight up to that crab and be like, yeah, I'll get shot. But you know, it happens to the best of us sometimes. I know I've done that myself, and now Karma's got a great hold on that top left side because of it. But Gravity isn't going to give it up for free. You already see that rain coming through. You see specials of their own coming through to reclaim that area, which they're able to do so well. Skep and Tim here now ready to follow up even more with these fizzy bombs. Got the Splatling ready here on the opponent's left-hand side, trying to see if they can poke around, see if anybody's hiding here, ready and waiting for them, but it doesn't look like there is at the moment. Karma's gonna try to see if they can make another power play here on the side. Maybe they can get another crab up, as they're gonna be forced to move because of that Zuka. 2 down now on Gravity, but Quarian is making sure that they're not gonna take the zone that fast, able to stall a little bit of time off of it and buy Gravity just a few extra points there on that push.
Yeah, and down to the 50, once again, it's a reverse scenario for Shine, right? They don't want to give Gravity any space to work with here. A little too close for comfort right now. So if you're Shine, you want to have a really strong foothold here, looking to try to take maybe a trade or two if you come closer, especially now that that penalty has gone away. You can see that the Inkjet is online, but Karma's looking to take the higher ground here to maybe try to take them out, watching for Skep and finding the pick in the process. But Shine having such a good control on mid. I mean, look at that. There's no yellow in sight on mid, Toma. Gravity can't even try to get close to there, and especially with Karma sitting in the base there. I mean, Shine's got to be feeling pretty good right now. A lot of pressure on Gravity to try to take it back here. Oh, but look at that, and they're able to get the 3-down scenario and take it, but finding themselves in the wipeout, so Shine is still gonna have a really strong foothold here. That was looking pretty good for Gravity. They can easily fight back, Toma, but it's just taking a couple more seconds to play it a little bit more patiently to wait for Shine to try to show themselves versus kind of trying to rush in there.
Absolutely, but you know, getting the zone cap was absolutely crucial. It has put some penalty timer on the board to give them time to work with, but now 3 down. They've got to be really careful about how they approach this sap, because they do need to get in here fast, but they can't just rush recklessly in or they're gonna go down. They're trying to get as much paint forward as they can, but there isn't just gonna be enough time left here on this game. Shine saying, hey, you may have taken it on brine water, but we were ready here on ship shape for you. We knew your strategy, we knew what it was going to be, and they adapted well to it, Saf.
Yeah, absolutely. Shine really took notes that last game, or excuse me, 2 games ago. They really took notes with what Gravity was trying to coke up with, and especially on that zones match, they really took notes on what was happening there, and were able to come back really strong in the next one. So gotta be feeling pretty good if you're Shine here. It seems like Shine is finding a lot of comfort with what Gravity is going to try to run. You can see that the Dooley here trying to take in a 3 versus 1 fight, but with having follow-up from a teammate though, so that was absolutely huge. Not only were they able to take one, but Busy, they're able to help them out with longer range to take them out. So Shine really just coordinating themselves so well on the side of Gravity here to maintain their foothold, to get their penalty points down, and just Gravity not quite finding their footing to get back out into this middle section. You can see 2 trying to rush around the side. You had Rush and Skep over there, but not quite enough firepower, I think, that they were looking for to kind of open that middle space for someone to try to come forward.
Absolutely. You got to be kind of careful about that, Saf, you know, and it looks like they were able to play off it well. But I'm excited to see now, Saf, you know, we've kind of seen the ping pong, Gravity, Shine. Gravity, Shine. Shine has been able now to find their footing and break out of that. They were able to take 2 consecutive games now, and you know, that must feel really good. They can kind of feel the wind going in their sails, but you can't be getting too cocky yet. We've seen how close these games have been, Sap. They have been back and forth, neck and neck, and Manta Maria is one of those games that can really, really be like that, especially because we saw on Inkblot, it was really hard for for those teams to break past checkpoint 2. We really didn't see a super high scoring game, and this is kind of very similar in the fact that, you know, around checkpoint 2 here on Manta, that's the huge make or break point. It's really hard to be able to face a lot of pressure from the defending team there. They've got a lot of walls to work around, they've got high ground to work around, they've got safe spots to shoot at the tower from. So it's really going to come down to who is going to be able to break through that defense the best, who's going to be able to poke over those walls, who's going to find the flanks in and take the defense out so that they can clear checkpoint 2 and steam through that street.
Yeah, and you know, one thing I do want to note here, the Shine is not bringing out their bucket that we had seen previously. So still opting to pick that shooter composition that they were going for kind of in some earlier games, but you still have Skep also on that blob leveler. So a lot of different walls to be bouncing those bubbles off of, especially if you're using Haunt. A lot of callouts could be made here that could be really advantageous for Gravity, but not advantageous if you see the Dooley coming in for the flank and taking out your jump positions, causing you to go into a delayed wipe scenario. Less than ideal for Gravity trying to go into this first checkpoint here, but all the more great for Shine as they are going to make the follow-up to first checkpoint of their own.
Absolutely, and right now they're going to be aiming strong at that, kind of backing off from the Zuka for just long enough to be able to find that first checkpoint break. If somebody else will just touch the tower, there we go. Finally able to find that first checkpoint break, and now they have that daunting task of clearing checkpoint 2. Gravity wasn't able to quite do it. Shine is going to make their attempt here, but you've got 2 down on both sides. You've got Rush and Skep fighting here in mid. A little bit of a scary situation. Going to be forcing Shine back, saying like, hey, let's take another look at this. Let's keep our specials. Let's stay alive. We don't want to give Gravity the space just yet. We have plenty of time to make another push. You've got Tim set up here on these nice masks, able to find a pick there onto the opposing ball point. Is going to be great for Tim to be able to get more space cleared, forcing a jump out there from Shine as well, as Gravity is now going to be pushing towards this second checkpoint, hoping to get it cleared this time, but you've got to be careful on that flank. The Dooley's getting some awesome picks there to stop Gravity in their tracks, but a little bit of some funky things going on there as we see a disconnect happen. We're going to see if these teams choose to play it out or if they're going to end the battle. Looks like they're continuing to fight it out. Shine going to be at a disadvantage for this game for the rest of the time, as Gravity is now set to clear checkpoint 2 here. Just the Doolies left alive to try to defend this checkpoint.
Yeah, and you can see here already, Gravity has a really strong foothold on this tower tome. I mean, the Inkjet is launching off of there. The Juice is online and at a central moving location. So you got to be back into the map very quickly if you're Gravity, and also with having one member push forward here and almost taking over the spawning mast area, that's going to be huge for Gravity trying to continue this push here, but just with the jump ins there, getting it down to the 6, and now Shine trying to follow up and take this tower back into mid, but they have so much ground to make up as Vizzy is frantically trying to paint this middle section and make sure that they can hold on to it, and they're able to get a really nice double splat over on that left-hand plat there, forcing Tim to back up and forcing 2 more to spawn back in with no juice either. So not a lot of time wasted actually with this tower going back into the middle section here. So only 3 members of Shine being online here, but I mean, Toma, they're going to take the fight to the bitter end, and they do have tower in their possession and nobody has gone down yet.
Yeah, definitely right now they're trying to fight it out as best as they can, you know, with this man advantage on Gravity's side. They do find 3 down on Gravity with all members of Shine up, as they're going to be fighting it out in the street, but nobody on the tower quite yet. They do have another member, but staff, remember, they only have 2 people to be able to fight off this tower while one of them is riding it. It's a very scary situation, but they are playing it well at the moment. They're just throwing bombs. They're doing whatever they can to try to stop Gravity. Gravity is really grouped up there on that right-hand side. They are focused on the one member that is in their stream. They're able to finally take them down. Now, though, the Doolies here on the back side, waiting for the right moment to try to move in here, taking a fight with Rush, is able to find them. Going to be going on that bunker wall, poking with that crab tank to see if they can find another member. Skep moving back to the street, and Skep goes down as well. They're going to try to find another pick onto Corey, and they get a triple. absolutely huge there. They have the tower moving there. Jin has the cooler out as well, and the dualies are ready to continue to go around the side and get more picks onto Gravity if they can, but the tower is going to fall. The dualies are gonna fall. That is gonna be the full wipeout onto Shine Staff, and you know, this timer ticking down, I don't think that Shine is gonna have the opportunity to make it back out here.
I was really hopeful for them, Toma. I was really holding out hope. I kind of thought that this could be the comeback story. This could be it. But you know what? With a win like this puts us into Game 7, Toma. We're getting very, very close ever more to our beloved Game 9.
Absolutely, absolutely, and they're gonna be tying it up there. Saf, what a huge win there for, you know, Gravity to get back into this. You know, unfortunate it had to happen off of a DC, but we saw the way that they played there. You know, before the DC happened, they were doing absolutely everything that they needed to, playing around that bunker, playing around that street, and getting the picks that they needed to. But Shine, absolutely nothing to scoff at, especially that dually player constantly finding those flanks and taking absolutely excellent fights. It was astounding to see.
Gravity going to be needing to take some notes on Karma, Toma, because you're absolutely right. Karma was at the right place in the right time, finding themselves in a really good flanking position and finding themselves taking at least 2 members of Gravity down most of the time when they were able to infiltrate. So how is Gravity going to respond to such a flank-heavy map like Hagglefish? I mean, it's very vertical, right? It's very straightforward. There's a lot of only looking forward versus like having other avenues that you can take, and especially with these Rainmaker pedestals as well, unless you were able to get advantageous and bold and opt for that left side. I mean, there's not a lot of opportunity for flanking per se here. I mean, if you're able to space yourselves out well. So how is Gravity going to be able to combat that against Shine going into this Game 7 here? I mean, I'm curious to know. But you know, what else too? With Skep having that blob as well and the amount of like surface area that they can utilize with it, I mean, that also is going to put a nail in the coffin for the flanking scenario for Shine.
Absolutely. I'm really interested to see it as well. It holds a lot of forward space. It's not a weapon that a lot of teams have to fight often. So, you know, it's one that I'm sure Shine may have been potentially caught off guard with, but actually, we're not going to see the blob coming back out. We're going to see the tent coming out from Skep on the side of Gravity.
The king.
And that can be huge, Skep, for them, especially if Skep is able to pop that in front of the jump and is able to provide the, you know, the cover that their teammate needs to make that jump, because we've seen it time and time again. The amount of points making that jump from podium to plat banks your team if you're able to even just touch the ground.
Yeah, and it looks like Gravity's more so just fighting for space in front of their spawning area here, but Shine has such a great foothold, and they actually are going to opt for this left-hand side here, Toma. They're feeling safe and like they're able to do so. Luma barely escaping out of that checkpoint pop, though, being able to force themselves backwards, and with having that vacuum blast on line 2, creating a lot of space for Gravity to try to push this Rainmaker away from the pedestal area. But with all members of Shine being pushed up here and having so much ink to work with the Crab and Inkzuka coming out for cover fire, I mean, Gravity's got to play it really safe and play it carefully here, Toma. They don't want to try to be traded here, especially with how close Shine is to this checkpoint. Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy, you said it right there. And Saf, that's just how Hagglefish goes sometimes. Those points rack up fast, and once you are in the opponent's base, it can be really, really tough to flush them out. And Shine saying, you know, we may have DC'd last game, but, you know, no sweat. That's fine. We can take a dropped game because now we're pushing this, you know, set to match point. They're up 4-3 right now, and right off of a very, very dominant Rainmaker game. We're going to be seeing kind of what happens there in these moments. You see that Rush picks up this Rainmaker here to try to take it out of control of Shine's territory, but it's caught out by Luma there, and they get a very, very fast pop. Luma's going to end up, Jin actually ending up picking that up. They've got the Crab out. They're going to be kind of dipping, dodging, squid rolling through here to try to survive, but unfortunately they go down on that ramp ramp, but it doesn't matter because look here, Vizzy on the side creating a lot of pressure, and you've got Karma under there that was like, hey, I'm just focused on getting this pop, and unfortunately Skep not able to find, you know, that tent one shot onto the Rainmaker to stop it in time.
Yeah, just a little bit too late there with that last tent blast. Shine taking on game number 4, taking us to a game 7. We are at match point now, so if Shine is able to bust it out here on Museum Clams, then they are taking their first win of the Ludi season. So very exciting if you're Shine. Clearly they want to end this quick, Toma. They're kind of chomping at the bit here, and it's very clear from that last game that that's how they're feeling. So both teams are ready up. Match point, Gravity versus Shine. Probably not going to see a whole lot of change. It seems like both compositions for both teams are working out really well, actually, but we do have Peachy coming out with the Neo Splash, so Tri-Strikes in hand, but a different weapon to be using the Tri-Strikes. So, and Skep having that Kraken as well. We are looking for Kraken strats on the side of Gravity, Toma. Could be really helpful here, especially if they want to take this into a Game 9 scenario.
Yeah, Kraken strats are always potentially really good, especially in Clam Blitz, and they can work really well in Museum, especially because, you know, it's such a long way to have to get up into their base. You've got to push through a lot of space if you're not taking that little block jump, so Kraken kind of lets you take that space for free if you can get a power clam or two to jump into it. But right now, Gravity doing a great job saying, hey, we don't really even need to do the Kraken strats at the moment. We're just going to be pushing up, but they don't have the clam economy quite yet here. You see Rush here under the basket, Peachy and everybody, but they're forced to kind of just back off, Saf. You kind of saw as they were like, oh, we got up here, we're ready, we're getting kills, but we don't have the clams.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that, like, you gotta play both sides, right? You gotta be collecting clams while also going in for the skirmish and or going in for the slay if the opportunity presents itself. And so it seemed like at that moment, Gravity just didn't have the clams in their pockets. So Shine's gonna take full advantage of that. But although they find themselves in the 3-down scenario, they don't have any follow-up there. But they did have to cause Gravity to turn back around and focus efforts back on their own basket. But nothing to scoff at here. We're just going to kind of walk that one off. We do see that Gravity gets a power clam in their possession, and they do have that pity clam in their pocket too. And with finding one splat, the Tri-Strikes coming in to clear a little bit of space here, Gravity is going to try to make the push here to try to break the basket themselves. And especially with those bubbles coming up, Juice being online, they aren't going to be out of the battle for very long, Toma. Rush able to get in there and make that first pop.
Yep, and Skep here as well on that Kraken, clearing some more space, finding some more picks, and now Peachy able to follow up with some more clams of their own, taking the score down to 42. Absolutely great push there for Gravity. Looks like it is going to be ending there. Corian taking out, you know, another member or two with that Zuka saying like, hey, we're not going to score anymore, but we're not going to let you come back into mid. We're just going to kind of continue to sit here on this plat if it's okay with you.
Oh yeah, and having that wall online too, absolutely huge, causing the Trizuka for the side of Shine to get half wasted, having a couple more shots in their pocket. The pop once again going to Gravity, but the wipeout shortly following. So Shine is quick to try to follow up on this, Toma. They got 2 power clams in possession here, but you can see Corian trying to go out around for the flank and Skep trying to defend the basket on their own. So Vizzy finding the double splat, Gravity being in a 2-down scenario with only only Vinny being the last one alive to try to push this a little bit more, but they're able to provide the jumps. So that lead is going to change for Shine with only 9 points left to go, Toma. Still so much time left in the game for Gravity to follow up here.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw the size of the push that they made earlier. If they're able to do another push that size, then that's going to be knockout right there. This is still very much so either team's game, but they've just got to play this carefully. They've got to really build up that clan economy and move in on it together. Peachy and Skep right now just underneath this plot, going to be throwing bombs, throwing blobs up there, doing whatever they can to force back members of Shine as they try to come out, but one does. Vizzy finds a nice pick on a Corian. Peachy goes down there. Now Skep Alive gonna see maybe if they can grab one of these power clams after the Kraken ends, but not able to do so. Now you've got Gravity on the respawn. They've used up both of their power clams. You've got Shine in a great position here to start to make another power clam here under the basket, but Busy goes down there right underneath as they were about to make the power. Gonna give a little bit more steam now to Gravity to be able to break out, but you've got to play this carefully. You do not want to let Shine in even one more time if you are Gravity, and you've got to find another power as well to try to get things going. You do have your Pity left at least to activate overtime, but you're going to need more than that to be able to take the lead. Right now, 44 seconds remaining here as the skirmishes go out in mid. A member of Shine falls down here. Corian now with 7 clams in hand looking to make a power here. Skep is down. They've got 2 power clams online. They're going to be waiting to see if they can get a push in here. You find a nice Zuka from Corian, and Rush is here trying to go underneath this basket, maybe see if they can provide some jumps in, but goes down. Just Peachy there left alive, needs to get some clams online and stay alive, but no, Shine is gonna find the pick on them. They're gonna be moving out here. Stop. All they need to do now is really set up here and hold mid. They have 3 down on Gravity. They're all on the respawn here. Sap, take us into overtime as we're going to see what goes on here. Gravity does have a power clam in play. Will they be able to find the space?
And it looks like they're going to try to, Toma. The jump is coming in. Corian has it in their possession, but so much ink coverage coming from Shine on their own plat, so Gravity having trouble finding the proper space to take here as Shine is going to take the set 5-3. Congratulations.
My gosh, Saf, what an intense set we saw here tonight. All these games were, gosh, so back and forth, and you know, the score there doesn't even say it all. We saw the kind of pushes that these teams were making. All it would have taken was one kind of push to clear that away and change the game. You know, a 5-3 here tonight. Shine taking their win, but this set felt even closer than that.
Yeah, absolutely. The way that Gravity was playing was absolutely huge. I mean, they got so close, Toma, multiple times, but just finding themselves at a man disadvantage. On this last follow-up here, you could see Corian trying to go in, look for the space here. They looked like they were waiting for the follow-up from the teammate that was jumping to them, but the jump was just taking a little bit longer than they were expecting, because at that point, you would have had 3 members of Gravity on that plat of Shine there to try to push that power clam forward. So it just, sometimes it really does just come down to those little moments, and just if I had jumped a little bit sooner, if I had this or if I had that kind of thing. So Gravity's got to be feeling the pressure from that last game there, but Shine was definitely such a great opponent for them to go up against in this first week here. And I mean, Shine really brought it to the table. They definitely were feeling a lot of momentum after the double win. Probably felt some demotivation with Gravity taking them back down a notch, but then now pulling out the double win again into the finals.
Yeah, absolutely huge there, Saf. And just what incredible games, what an incredible set. We've had incredible sets, Saf, just all night long. I think
all weekend.
Yeah, all weekend. You're so right. I couldn't have asked for, you know, a better opening weekend for, you know, Ludi tonight here on
And it's
Splatoon
only
30.
week 1. It's only week 1, and so much has happened.
It's absolutely great, but I'm going to throw it back to our man, the producer, Falco, to wrap us up with, you know, your final thoughts of this set of the night. What do you think about this whole opening weekend?
Yeah, no, I was literally going to say it has really been incredible, and I don't think we could have found a better match to end off with. I mean, you know, this one didn't go to Game 9, but we got all the excitement as if it did go to a Game 9 on this match between Gravity versus Shine, and it has really been incredible. I think these two teams did such a good job keeping us on our toes literally the entire match. Like that Clam Blitz game, I had the worst possible time trying to run Spec Cam on my controller doing it. I was literally like, playing the game as if I was trying to run Spec Cam. So it was a lot of fun, but yeah, 12 games, 12 sets happening on opening weekend here on Splatoon Tourney and Splatoon Tourney 1 has been fantastic so far. Those of you in chat, feel free to click the link. That is our Twitch account. I meant to type our Twitter, so let me do that. But you guys are already following us here on our Twitch account. But yeah, go follow us here on our Twitter as well. But yeah, Safatoma has been incredible so far. Again, probably one of the most exciting sets that we could possibly end on. Before we head out for the night, Toma, where can we find you?
Absolutely. You can find me at Crest of Gautier on Twitter, here on twitch.tv at twitch.tv/ttoma_, or over on Blue Sky at Toma SPL. My bestest commentator friend, Saf, where can we find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Safirea. That's 2 P's, 2 A's. At Safirea, eventually Blue Sky. I don't know. I might be there. I might not be. I'm also out in wetlands a lot. You can find me in your local swamp catching frogs.
You know, just.
But what about Falco? What about you?
Well, you will not find me in your local swamp. I will be in my basement almost 24/7. No, I'm joking. You can find me Falco Flyer on Twitch, Falco Flyer 11 on Twitter. Again, we have a whole team who broadcasts Ludi Tonight streams. I just happen to be at tonight. So starting next Thursday, which will probably be when we're going to aim for our Week 2 sets, you will likely see another broadcaster here, maybe on Splatoon Tourney 1 as well. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you had a wonderful Week 1 of your Ludi sets, and we will see you next week. Have a wonderful day.